Hello everybody and welcome to Classic High School Football on YurView. I'm your host, Chris Harris. High school football is the heartbeat of a community each and every week during the fall when thousands of young athletes lay it on the line on Friday nights. The games galvanize communities, hoping their team will prevail. Tonight we present two schools and their players who left it all out on the field in Arizona back in 1996. Mesa Mountain View was in the midst of a run that would make them the state's dominant big school team. Their 8 state titles in the highest division are still an Arizona record. Head coach Bernie Buskin and his Toros expected to roll over a Chandler team in the state semifinals that season. Mountain View had carved up each of their opponents and entered the game undefeated. For Chandler, on the other hand, the road to the semifinals was a tough one. The Wolves lost their head coach, the legendary Jerry Loper, in a car accident the morning after their 5th game, as Loper was driving game tapes to their next opponent. Chandler had a record of 3-3 after 6 games, but rallied to win 6 straight, make a deep run into the postseason. Now sit back and enjoy what is regarded as one of the best, if not the best, playoff game in Arizona high school football history. Chandler versus Mountain View in the 1996 state semifinals.
Kick, receive, defend the goal, or defer to the second
We're
half.
back at Dobson High School. George Allen and Doug Gerlach as we are set for the flip of the coin out at midfield.
I'm going to assume you'd like to have the football,
The co-captains out there. This is the one semifinal matchup in the Valley tonight. Mountain View and Chandler. The other one down in Tucson featuring Brophy and Am5.
We'll receive at this end.
Chandler will receive.
fellas,
Mountain View won the opening kickoff, won the
started.
opening toss. They deferred their option to the second half, and so Chandler will get the football
That was the
first.
First time I dropped the coin.
So we'll get a chance to see Chris Andrew, quarterback, run the offense. I had a chance to talk to Carl Kiefer this week. Carl told me that Chris Andrew, the starting quarterback for Chandler, is the son of Stan Andrew, who quarterbacked for Carl back in 1969 and 70. Carl said, I know I'm getting old when my former players start raising kids that come back and beat me, which is what Chandler did this year. And Andrew's a good one. He doesn't make many mistakes. Matter of fact, that's kind of a characteristic of both of these quarterbacks tonight, Tate Gunning and Chris Andrew. Neither one throw a lot of interceptions, do not make a lot of mistakes. Mountain View ranked number 1 unbeaten. They are 12-0 coming in. You know they've won 4 state titles overall under the guidance of Jess Parker. This is a team that has been to the playoffs 17 of 19 years and the last 12 in a row, counting this year. And during the decade of the 90s, they have already won 73 football games.
A bit of an irony, some history. The last time Mountain View did not get to the playoffs was because the Toros lost on the last regular season night to Chandler High School.
That's exactly
down at
right.
Austin Field in Chandler.
That indeed is right. In 1984, this Chandler football team got to the semifinals 12 years ago. And one of their assistant coaches, Deke Schutz, over on that sideline you're looking at now, was the quarterback of that football team. They lost to Tucson Saguaro 14-13 in the semifinal. Tucson Saguaro went on the following week to lose to St. Mary's in the state championship game down in Tucson. And of course, that was the St. Mary's team that upset Carl Kiefer's McClintock team in the semifinals, guided by Steve Bellis. Set for the opening kickoff. You look at Bernie Buskin on the sideline. What a job he's done since taking over the head coaching position here at Mountain View. 12-0 this year, 10-3 a year ago. Mountain View to kick off in this semifinal, and we're glad you're with us on Cox Sports. Next week, we will bring you the 5A state championship game from Sun Devil Stadium. Jeremy Kelly, who's had an outstanding past couple of years at Mountain View, to kick off, and he drives this one deep and through the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line, 1st and 10, where Chandler will put the ball in play. And again, Chris Andrew, the 5'10" senior, will guide the attack. He has thrown for over 1,300 yards this year, 8 touchdowns, and last week in the win over Maryvale, he ran for a couple of touchdowns as well. So Andrew to lead him out at quarterback. as you see the Wolves huddled up. Eddie Calder in the backfield along with Tanner Lucas, their two main running backs. First play from scrimmage tonight. They go out of the bone. Take the ball and pitch it back, and this is Calder. Calder going off the right side, and Calder's got 5 yards out to the 25. Knocked down there, Cody Smith in on the stop, and also Carlos Sepulveda from the linebacking position. Chandler on offense, we mentioned Andrew, with Calder and Lucas at the running backs. Johansi Scott is a flanker, but he can go to an I-back as well at times during the ball game. Ricky Prigge and Eric Moody, two outstanding receivers for this football team. Up front, it's a good offensive line with Wills and Stevenson on the left side. Mike Mowry, the center, he's filling in, and Mark Manning and Sean Falk on the other side of the line. 2nd and 5 as they pitch the ball back, and this one only goes for about a yard. Scott Rogers running from the backfield position. Rogers on the season, 63 carries, 279 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 2 of them came in the win over Casa Grande. Mountain View, tough defensively with Titcomb and Bennett, Bogle and Hunt up front. The linebackers, solid trio of Atkins, Sepulveda, and Goodman. And it's a good secondary as well. Bunker, Chaffee, Smith, and Runyon. This team is a plus 16 in the takeaway ratio. 3rd down 4, Chandler. Opening possession of the game. Give the ball off and it'll be kicking time. Gain of maybe a yard, not much more. And so Chandler keeping it on the ground, and Eddie Calder got only a yard on that last carry. 4th down and they'll have to kick it away.
Take another look at it. That's Coulter coming through on the right side, but Mountain View had 8 players within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage, almost daring Andrew to pass. The Wolves kept it on the ground and come up short, so Mountain View does what it wanted to do. Deferred on the flip of the coin after winning the toss and forces Chandler to give up the ball deep in its own territory after 3 snaps.
Dallas Hart, a 32-yard average. The rush is on, they get it blocked. Mountain View has blocked it. It is picked up and run in by Chad Shipley for a Mountain View touchdown. Chad Shipley running back the block punt, and the Toros on the board already. 2 minutes and 1 second into this football game.
That wasn't even close. There were about 3 different Toro players who could have blocked that punt. They were all over the play.
So the Toros jump out early, and now Kelly will try and tack on the extra point. And just like that, the top-ranked Toros lead 6-0. So Chandler goes 3 and out, and on the punt they have it blocked. Kelly on the kick, it's up, it's good. 9:59 to go first quarter, and it's 7-0 Mountain View. Well, Chandler's going for their 10th win in this football game tonight, and the last time Chandler won 10 games in a season, you got to go back to 1949 when they went 10-0, and at that time won the Class A state championship. And they've got a big hurdle to clear here tonight if they want to get to that 10th win against Mountain View. Last year, this Mountain View team went 10-3, advanced to the semifinals before losing to Horizon. Horizon, the Cinderella team a year ago, who finished the regular season 5-5 and then marched through the playoffs all the way to the finals.
That was a major upset. Mountain View was not was the favorite in that ball game and wound up losing by 39 points.
One of the trademarks of Mountain View last year, they did not turn the football over. They turned it over 5 or 6 times in that semifinal a year ago against Horizon. But they capitalize here tonight early as they block a kick, take it in for the touchdown, and lead 7-0. So again, Kelly to kick it off. Just a reminder again, we'll be at Sun Devil Stadium next week for the state championship game. It'll be the winner of this game against the winner of Brophy Amphi. They're playing that game in Tucson tonight for the championship, and that should be a dandy. So Kelly set to kick off. Again. And again it will come out to the 20-yard line. There are 2 excellent kickers in this football game tonight. If it does come down to a place-kicking battle, you look at Jeremy Kelly coming off the field. He's had a great season, 13 field goals on the year, had 15 a year ago. And on the other side of the field, Dante Biscaglia, who kicks for Chandler, has kicked 10 field goals this year. There's Jim Sherman. You've got to look at him. He and Ned Jolly have taken over the head coaching chores since the untimely death of Jerry Loper. So here we go again for the Wolves. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Andrew, give the ball off. Colder. Colder tries the left side and gets a couple.
Jesse Goodman from his linebacker position came up, just stood his man up who was trying to block him, and really, while he may not have made the tackle, congested the play at the line of scrimmage and stopped it, or helped stop it for a short gain.
Colder leads this team in rushing, 765 yards. He averages almost 5 yards a carry. He has run for 6 touchdowns this year. He's had some big games, 132 yards and a couple of touchdowns in the win over Casa Grande. And in the loss to Horizon during the regular season, Colder had a 125-yard game. 2nd down, quick drop. Andrew going to pump it out long, and it is incomplete. Good coverage on the play as they try to hit Moody down the field, and over on coverage was Brig Bunker. Eric Moody, 24 catches on the year for 455 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Andrew just hung it up there, hoping that Moody would run under it. Well, he did, but Bunker was not fooled and was over there and actually in better position to make the catch, but the ball sailed out of bounds.
So Andrew's first pass of the night falls incomplete. It is 3rd down and 8. Chandler's Wolves Central Region champions this year. Andrew again to drop. Has time. Gets it away, and he's got an open man, and he overshoots Johansson Scott up and around the 35-yard line. He had him open. Todd Atkins was closest to the play defensively for Mountain View. So again, 3 and out for the Wolves, and they'll have to kick it away again. Dallas Haught, the kicker. The last time we saw Chandler, Haught had an outstanding game defensively. He ran in a fumble for a touchdown, and near the end of the game against McClintock, ran back an interception, 85 yards for a touchdown. He does the punting, standing inside his 10, awaiting the snap. A very dangerous Bryce Weiler waits deep. This is going to be a short kick. Weiler comes up, fair catches the ball at the 44-yard line of Chandler. Great field position for the Toros to start.
Mountain View obviously has Chandler's punt team well scouted, because on that one, although the punt was made, Mountain View applied terrific pressure there and may have actually forced him to adjust and not get off as good a kick as he otherwise might have.
Gunning, Woods, Shipley in the backfield you see, with Carling and Runyon the wideouts, and Heap the tight end. Heap's a heck of a basketball player as well. When football season ends, he'll take his talents to the hardwood over at Mountain View. 1st down for the Toros from the 44 of the Wolves. Tate Gunning under center has had a super year. 2nd man through as a penalty marker goes down. And not much running room, maybe a gain of a yard or 2. And it was Bryce Weiler on the carry, but a penalty marker down. Weiler, 660 yards and 3 touchdowns this year. He went for over 500 yards a year ago in the backfield for Mountain View. Bob Cush, a motion penalty against the Toros. Weiler got a yard on that last carry.
Motion on the offense, 5 yards.
2 good tailbacks for this football team, Shipley and Weiler. So they'll march the football back and put it to the 49. Defensively up front, Wills and Falk with Hahn, Alvarez, and Grajeda for the Wolves. Linebackers Scott Rogers and Anthony Stevenson. Now, Stevenson did not play the last time we saw Chandler in the finale against McClintock. Scott Bello, Haught, and Moody, pretty solid secondary for the Wolves. 5-man front for Chandler. 1st man through. Shipley down to the 45-yard line. We'll make it Weiler down to the 45. Give him a gain of about 4. Weiler, in the earlier season game we did with Mountain View and Brophy, Brophy's only loss of the year, Weiler had a nice game. He ran for 109 yards and scored 2 touchdowns against Brophy. Double wideouts to the near side of the field for the Toros on 2nd and long. Hand the ball off and nothing doing. As they throw Weiler down again, right at about the line of scrimmage. No gain. So it'll be third down and long coming up for the Toros.
Alex Hahn, 79, has shot across the line of scrimmage. Bogle is trying to block him, and it looks as the play runs right into those two and then bounces away. But Alvarez is there to make the stop.
Another look. Great size at the offensive tackles for Mountain View with Bogle and Nico. Two giants, one 6'4", 295, the other 6'3", 245. It is third down with about 14 to go. Draw play to Woods, wrapped up and dropped. It'll be kicking time. Making the play, Billy Wills, the defensive end for Chandler. What a season Wills has had. 2 blocked punts, a safety, 3.5 sacks, a fumble recovery. And both of the blocked punts for that man right there came in the opening game of the season in a win over Maryvale. So it's fourth down. Johansi Scott drops deep. And Kelly to punt, standing at his own 40-yard line. So the Chandler defense made the stand on that possession. Kelly to get it away. Fielded by Moody, and Moody goes out of bounds at around the 11 or 12-yard line. Eric Moody back on run backs for Chandler. Johansi Scott, the other deep back, who wears number 21 on his Chandler uniform. Scott took a punt back 55 yards for a touchdown in the opening playoff win against Horizon a couple of weeks ago. So now Chandler, 1st and 10 from about their own 13-yard line. Double wide outs, Scott and Moody to the far side of the field. Holder in the backfield. He takes the pitch. Holder looking to cut it back inside, and he's out on the 15 and near the 17, close to about a 4-yard gain. Tanner Lucas helping lead the blocking around the right side. Second down coming up. Here's another look at the pitch, and Lucas, number 34, out in front.
They run right. It's Bogle, 77, who slides down the line. He was on the other side of the line, slides down and makes the tackle.
Second down coming up for the Wolves. Second and call it 7. More than halfway through this first quarter now. Hand the ball off and up the middle. And finding a bit of a hole was Tanner Lucas, and lost his footing and went down. But out over the 20, and that may be good enough for first down yardage. Bob Cush says first down. So they'll move the sticks. Chandler's initial first down of the football game after twice going 3 and out. And there Lucas finding a hole off the left side.
He trips at the line of scrimmage, but he hit the line so quickly, was able to get through there and picked up the first down. That's their best game from scrimmage tonight.
Lucas has run for 645 yards this year. He averages almost 6 yards a carry, and he's run for 5 touchdowns for Chandler. Good running tandem right there. Running option. Pitch the ball back on a sweep. Holder steps out of bounds up near the 25. Not much of a gain, maybe a couple, and that's all. Forced out of bounds. So Coulter and Lucas, the 1-2 punch, combined over 1,000 yards this year. A lot of different backs on this football team as well that Ned Jolly and Jim Sherman can go to. Holder checking out of the football game now. Scott and Moody go wide to the far side. Rogers back into the running back position with Tanner Lucas. Second down, 8 to go. First man through is Lucas, and Lucas doesn't get much. Couple of yards, not much more before the Toro defense converges. And it'll be third down.
Right now, Mountain View's defensive line is having the better of Chandler's offensive line. Again, that was Bogle. They ran right at him. He's tough when you run away from him. He's even tougher when you go right to him.
There's another look. From the 27, third down with about 7 to go. Andrew under center. He wants to throw. He's got time. He throws over the middle. He's got a man. It is Eric Moody. Moody finds running room, and he squirts out over the 40, penalty marker down. And that may go against the Toros, as that flag came in late, as Moody took the pass up to the 43-yard line. About a 16-yard gain. It's against Mountain View. And that'll move the football.
Give some credit on this play to Tanner Lucas. They brought linebacker Todd Adkins from the far side, and Lucas stayed in there and put the block on him, and that gave Andrew plenty of time to find his receiver.
We had a dead ball foul, personal foul.
Personal foul against Mountain View.
At the end of the run, 15
and that's going to move it down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line of the Toros. Best drive of the game for Chandler. Here's the throw to Moody. Moody's 25th catch of the year. That was Jesse Goodman, number 31. Now here's the hit, and as he goes down, right there, the late hit and the flag came in. Now first down for the Wolves. First time they've been in Toro territory. Holder wanted to cut it inside, could not get there. He will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Knocked down at the 45-yard line. Atkins, the linebacker, and a good one in on the tackle. Loss of a couple. Second down, 12 to go. America West Airlines, proud sponsors of high school football here in 1996. Asking to stay with us after the ball game. We'll visit with the winning coach and present our America West trophy to the winning coach, symbolic of the player of the game. It is 7-0 in favor of the Toros at Mountain View. They blocked a punt on Chandler's first possession, ran it in for a touchdown. Now the Wolves trying to answer. Play action. Andrew wanting to throw. Got a man. Hits Ricky Priggy. Priggy's inside the 5, down to about the 4-yard line. Ricky Priggy, the tight end, his 36th catch of the year. He's the leading receiver for Chandler. Great play action, and he threw a gorgeous pass to Priggy.
Oh, he put the ball right on the money. What's amazing is about the time the ball leaves his hand right here, there are two Mountain View Toros all over Priggy, and he runs right by them. He was on the far side of the field, ran straight up the field, angled a little bit to the inside, and almost winds up with a touchdown.
So Chandler knocking at the door on the 2-yard line of Mountain View. 7-0 Toros. And now a timeout going to be called on the field, charge to Chandler. Clock shows 3:21 to go first quarter. Timeout, Mountain View 7, Chandler nothing. Class 5A semifinal game from here at Dobson High School. This is the 11th time since 1978 that Mountain View has gotten to at least the semifinals. That's an amazing record. 11 times in 19 years they have gotten to at least the semifinals.
Well, they had a stretch here earlier in this decade when they made it to the state championship game 3 straight years. Came away with 1 title in those for their effort.
The last school to win back-to-back big school championships, the Knights of St. Mary's. They did it in 1984 and 85. Nobody's done it since then. And of course, St. Mary's under Pat Farrell's won 4 state championships. Mountain View's won 4. And all of those under Jess Parker's guidance. Here comes Chandler. First and goal. The big pass play from Andrew to Priggy setting this up. Andrew. Touchdown, Chandler. Late call, but he got to the goal line and over. And Chandler a point away from tying it up.
Andrew took the snap, just took a step to his right, followed Mowry, number 50, and found just enough of a hole to fall into the end zone, and Chandler, give them some credit. Mountain View with a quick score on the block punt. A breakdown by Chandler hands the Toros the lead. Chandler stops Mountain View on its possession and now comes back and has a chance to tie things up. Here again, the touchdown, just sliding a little bit to his right, and he has enough to get in there.
So now Biscaglia out of the hold of Andrew, trying to tie this game up, and he does it. 3 minutes, 15 seconds to go first quarter. It's tied, Mountain View 7 and Chandler 7. So an 80-yard drive for the Wolves. If they needed confidence, that should have given it to them.
Well, and the 2 big plays on that drive, pass plays. One to Moody over the middle, got them a first down, and then a penalty on top of it, moved it into Toro territory. And then the big pass to Priggy. Perfectly thrown, hit him in stride, and he takes it inside the 5.
2 things back-to-back to think of. Just prior to that touchdown drive by Chandler, Their defense stepped to the front and held Mountain View when they had taken over the football at the 44-yard line of Chandler. So the defense stepped up when they had to, and then when the offense had to move the ball, they responded as well. So now it's a 7-7 tie. Again, these two teams have not met since 1988. Last time they have met, the series has been dominated by Mountain View. They've played 11 times overall. The Toros have won 10 of them.
Well, they used to be in the same league.
That's right.
So they would play every year.
But as Doug pointed out, the one time Chandler won, it cost Mountain View a spot in the state playoffs. They've only not been in the playoffs twice in the last 19 years. Once they were on probation. Biscaglia to kick off. High, short kick. Weiler, he is dangerous. Here he comes up the middle. Bryce Weiler. He's into Wolves territory at the 45-yard line. Big run back by Bryce Weiler. We saw him take punts back last year for touchdowns. He is dangerous.
Weiler is one of those players who can take control of a football game by himself. He does it with his returns. He does it out of his tailback position. And we have seen him this year when the Toros have needed plays and he has been called on. We have seen him respond.
C.J. Carling split wide to the far side. He starts in motion now. Shipley and Woods in the backfield. This is Shipley on the toss. A lot of running room. Shipley around the left side, and he's knocked down inside the 40, down near the 35-yard line. That's going to be good enough for first down yardage. An 11-yard run by Chad Shipley.
Watch the block by Carling, 27, if you can see it. He comes back, seals off the end right there, and really opens things up.
That was Damian Nico, number 76, like a locomotive out in front of Shipley. Shipley over 1,000 yards rushing on the year and 7 touchdowns. He's had some big games. First and 10 from the Chandler 35. Game tied at 7. Give the ball off to Shipley, and he stood up and dropped. If any kind of a game, very little. Max Alvarez making that play.
Alvarez gives a little in terms of weight up there. He's 180. He's across the line from players who are 215 and 295. You would not have known it on this play.
Boy, solid hit. Good. Second down coming up. 2nd and 9. We approach 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Tied at 7. Gunning, option, pitch the ball back. Shipley again, cuts it inside. He's close to first down yardage. Moody makes the stop. He may be about a yard shy of a first down, but a gain of about 9 that time on the run by Shipley.
Scott Rogers, the linebacker for Chandler, was coming across the line to take the pitch man, and Todd Heap, number 14, just levels him. Right there, crushes him, and that opens up the play.
A yard shy of first down. 3rd down and 1, Toros from the 26 of Chandler. Wolves very tight to the line of scrimmage. Hand the ball off, second man through. That's Sepulveda. He's got the first down to about the 23. Carlos Sepulveda, who has scored 10 touchdowns this year. And when they get down to about the 1 or 2 yard line, he's the guy to keep your eye on because they'll hand him the ball. Sepulveda also doubles linebacker on defense. Unofficially, Shipley about 21 yards so far on 3 carries in the ball game. Toros driving after seeing Chandler go 80 yards to tie the game. Now Mountain View coming back the other way. Trips right, gunning to throw. The junior lets it fly. Down the middle, incomplete, overshot Weiler. Haught was there. And also there was Anthony Stevenson.
He had 4 receivers out on that pass play, 3 on the right side.
Gunning this year has thrown for 1,543 yards and 21 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Had a great game against Westwood earlier when he threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for 2 more. Weiler's hit and dropped at the line of scrimmage, maybe for about a yard loss.
Bello 24 up from the secondary. Nobody touched him. He was left all alone, and he made the tackle.
Bello had a great game last time we saw Chandler against McClintock. He's got an interception and a sack this year, and watch him make the play here on the pitch back to Bryce Weiler. So coming up now for Mountain View, 3rd down and 10. Final 20 seconds of this opening quarter. Tied at 7. The winner goes on to the state championship game next week at Sun Devil Stadium. Gunning to throw. With time, sets up over the middle. He's got his man Schaefer, and Schaefer is down inside the 15-yard line. Right near the first down marker. And Schaefer's got the first down.
Receiver. Look on this play.
Schaefer right there over the middle finds Gunning's pass. Schaefer's had a super year too. That's his 18th catch. He's now over 300 yards on the year. He has 1 touchdown reception, a 22-yarder against Cibola. Last week, he set up a couple of touchdowns with long pass receptions. That's the end of the first quarter here at Dobson with our score. The Mountain View Toros 7, the Chandler Wolves 7. Second quarter coming up.
Tied at 7 apiece after 1 quarter. Now, we knew special teams would be big in this game, and the block punt set the tone. However, the Wolves survived the turnover and came back to tie the score thanks to the big catch by their standout tight end, Ricky Prigge, which set up the short touchdown run by quarterback Chris Andrews. All right, the second quarter is up next. We'll see you again at the half. You're watching the 1996 Arizona State High School football semifinal game between Chandler and Mountain View. Classic high school football on YurView.
First on the right.
Along with our statistician, Bob Corwin. Also, George Allen Jr. up here with us in the booth tonight, keeping stats as well. Hand the ball off inside. Maybe a yard. Not much more than that. Shipley, the ball carrier.
Sean Falk, 73, really with a terrific effort on that play. Just shed his blocker and made the stop.
Sean Falk, 5.5 quarterback sacks on the season so far, and he was there to jam that play up. Ball down to about the 11, second down and 10, just the start of the second period here at Dobson. Shipley and Woods in the backfield with Weiler. Shipley on a wing. Gunning looks over the defense. He pitches the ball back to Weiler. Weiler's going to sweep right. Bryce Weiler, touchdown Mountain View. You let him get to the outside, he is dangerous. He can really scoop. And he's in from 11 yards out, and the Toros of Mountain View go up 13-7.
Mike Bello, 24 for Chandler, just briefly said something to the official on this side after the play. Bello got caught inside. The play came around the end, and Bello appeared to be complaining that he was held up trying to recover. In any event, nobody touched him, and the Toros are back on top.
The try for point, gunning to hold, Kelly to try the conversion. 13-7 Toros. Just the start of the second period. Ball down, kick on the way, and Kelly converts. We are not a minute deep into the second quarter, and Mountain View has regained the lead on the touchdown run by Bryce Weiler. It's now 14-7 Toros.
And it's fitting that the touchdown run is by Weiler because he really set this up with his kickoff return. Bello is 24. If you can see him, you saw him for just for a moment. Some reason got caught inside and could not get back out.
So Weiler, we mentioned he's had some big games this year. 9-play drive, which consumed almost 4 minutes for Mountain View. And the touchdown run by Weiler puts them back in front. Again, the winner of this one meets the winner of Brophy and Amphitheater next week for the state title. And if you haven't got plans next Friday, come on over to Sun Devil Stadium. It's the best Friday night of the year. You get to see 2 football games, 4 great clubs going at it. The 4A championship kicks off at 5 o'clock. That'll be the Buffaloes of Tempe trying to complete an undefeated season when they take on the Eagles of Ironwood High School. Second straight year Ironwood's been in the finals in 4A. And then at 8 o'clock or thereabouts, the 5A championship, the winner of this one against either Brophy or Amphi. So come on out and enjoy yourself next Friday night at Sun Devil Stadium, the conclusion of the high school football season. The kickoff, short. Pitch it back and give it to Johansson Scott. Scott cuts through and almost about a step or 2 away from breaking it. Scott got out near the 29 or 30 yard line. In fact, they'll put it out over the 30, I believe. Let's see where they mark it. Short of the 30-yard line. Johansson Scott, he is dangerous.
Well, and Mountain View knows that, and it's rather curious. On the first 2 kickoffs, Kelly kicked it deep into the end zone. In high school, the ball in the end zone cannot be returned. This time, it was punched downfield, and it looked to be deliberate, not a missed kick, as if they were daring Chandler to do something with it, and Scott may have been just a step away from breaking it.
So here's Chandler. Chris Andrew under center. Hand the ball off. Coming up the middle, gain of a yard or 2, Tanner Lucas. Gain of a yard or 2, not much more, second down and long for the Wolves. Last time Chandler touched the ball, they went 7 plays, 87 yards in 3 minutes and 19 seconds, which at that point tied the game at 7. Since that time, Mountain View has responded, and I've gone back on top 14-7. This is the best starting position Chandler's had tonight. They've started at their own 20, again at their own 20, and then at their own 13 prior to getting the ball at the 27-yard line to start this drive. Andrew to set up and throw, complete. Out at the 40-yard line, that's a first down. Ricky Prigge, the tight end on the reception, his second catch of the night. Prigge, who has 2 touchdown catches this year, both against Corona del Sol.
Well, and remember the game we did against McClintock, between Chandler and McClintock a couple of weeks ago. Prigge had a very big night in that ball game.
That was a night I thought would never end. Longest game I have ever seen since we've been covering high school football. Chandler McClintock. There must have been close to 70 or 75 passes thrown in the entire football game. Lasted well over 3 hours. First and 10 Wolves. Coulter sweeping right. And Coulter getting about 5 yards as he's out to about the 45-yard line. Andrew 3 of 5 for 69 yards through the air thus far in the game. 9:45 to go till halftime. Mountain View leading 14-7. Mountain View has not won less than 9 games in a season during this decade. They have won at least 9 games every single season. 2nd and 5 for Chandler. at the 45. Quick drop, and they'll throw it out to Johansson. Scott, who drops the ball as a penalty marker goes down. Wide open, but Scott couldn't hang on. Eddie Coulter, 7 carries, only 14 yards so far in the football game. And remember, he's the leading rusher for the Wolves. The penalty on the Wolves.
There was some movement as the ball,
Motion
right before the ball
on
was,
the offense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
right before the ball was snapped.
So they'll move the football down, place it just inside the 40-yard line. That'll be second down with about 10 to go. Movement right there early by Tanner Lucas. Double wide outs to the near side of the field. Andrew wants to throw, gets it away. He's got Prigge, and Prigge is out of bounds in Mountain View territory, and that's a first down. Prigge having a good first half for the Wolves.
Well, and
Andrew throwing the ball well.
Andrew as well, putting the ball right where he needs to. Just enough play action to keep some people honest. Prigge breaks to the sideline and has enough room to make the catch easily.
Third catch of the night for Ricky Prigge. Over 60 yards in receptions now for Prigge. Chandler moving the football into Toro territory. Mountain View leading 14-7. First man through is Lucas. And Lucas gets a couple down near the 45-yard line. 3 minutes gone in the second quarter. It was tied 7-7 at the end of one. On Chandler's initial possession, they had a fourth down punt blocked. Chad Shipley ran it in for a touchdown. It was 7-0 Mountain View. Chandler responded near the end of the quarter. 3-yard run by Chris Andrew tied the game after a big pass play to Ricky Prigge set up the score. Then Mountain View came back on a big run back by Bryce Weiler on the ensuing kickoff. Weiler eventually took it in for the go-ahead score. Pump fake Andrew, going to air it out down the field for a man to Prigge, and it's incomplete down near the 10-yard line of Mountain View.
That play, or that pattern to Prigge, started out the same way that the one that they just completed did. Prigge broke to the sideline, but this time Andrew, instead of delivering the football, faked and then sent Prigge deep down the sideline, but Andrew obviously overthrew him by a considerable margin.
So it's 3rd and 8 from the 46 of Mountain View. Scott comes to the near side, as does Moody. Lucas and Coulter in the backfield. 4-man front for Mountain View defensively. Andrew, plenty of time, now steps up, finds some running room. He's going to run. He's got the first down to the 35 of Mountain View. So Andrew dropping back, couldn't find anybody, tucked it under and got the necessary yardage for the first down.
George, you said it was a 4-man front, and those are the only 4 men who came on this play for Mountain View. They are all blocked right here. The linebackers for the Toros all dropped off considerably, and right now Andrew realized he has enough room to pick up the first down.
So this drive for Chandler, which started on their own 27, they've now moved it to the 35-yard line. This is the 8th play of the drive coming up now. Showing blitz. They pitch to Coulter. Coulter on a sweep, and he's knocked down for a loss. Cody Smith coming up to make the stop for Mountain View.
And Coulter getting up, showing the effects of being hit hard by Smith.
Cody Smith has 6 interceptions this year. Matter of fact, he and Nate Runyon, between the two of them, have 13 interceptions. And watch Smith come up here and just throw Coulter down. Smith also a fumble recovery to go along with those 6 interceptions. He's had a solid year defensively for Mountain View. So a loss of a couple. Clock running as we near 7 minutes to play in the first half. And stay with us. Barry Sullenberger joins us at halftime as we talk high school football. Scott split to the far side. Andrew to throw. He's looking, throwing down the field, and is tipped and knocked away. Throwing toward the middle of the field, Eric Moody, the intended receiver. Good coverage on the part of the Toros. It'll be 3rd down and long coming up now for Chandler. 14-7, Mountain View leading. Andrew is getting the time to throw tonight. Good coverage down there by Runyon.
Pass a little too high to handle. Andrew may have to do, and Chandler may have to do it through the air. The ground game for Chandler is picking up just a little, but not very much to this point.
3rd call at 12. Again, Toros show blitz. They pick up Atkins. Out pass is complete. Eddie Coulter, nice move by Coulter. He's down to the 20 and out of bounds. That is a 1st down for Chandler.
George, that move is a difference between being stopped short of a 1st down and getting the 1st down. He had not reached the point where the down marker was when he made that move, and it got him the extra yardage.
You don't teach this move. Watch it again on the pass. Coulter not near 1st down yardage right here.
Something else, I thought he did a good job controlling his momentum. He was headed for the sidelines and out of bounds, well short of the 1st down. Right here, he's going out of bounds, but he is able to recover, and now with that move picks up the 1st down.
Ball is inside the Toro 20. It's a 1st down. That was a 3rd and 12 conversion for Chandler. Lucas up the middle, and he gets good yardage on 1st down. Found a hole off the left side. Tanner Lucas, 19-yard touchdown run against Dobson. Also had a 19-yard touchdown run in the game against Corona. Ran for 145 yards in the win over Casa Grande. Bernie Buskin on the near sideline looking on. Lucas, 5 carries, 19 yards so far on the ball game. Gain on that last play of 5. We're about halfway through the 2nd quarter. Toros lead by 7. 2nd and 5 for the Wolves. Andrew looking. He's throwing for the end zone. He overshoots Moody. Todd Atkins was coming. And there's a penalty marker down.
I wonder if it's holding, because it looked as if Atkins was going to wrap Andrew up. And Andrew was able to maintain
interference from the defense.
Nope.
White captain.
The Toros call for pass interference. That man's not happy. So this big call goes against the Toros.
I was looking for a holding call in the Wolf backfield. Actually, it was improper use of the hands
Pass
in the end.
interference on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
So Chandler inching closer to the tying touchdown.
Well, then it was a good job in the Chandler backfield to keep Atkins from making the sack, because it looked as if Andrew was going to go down.
It is 1st down and goal from the 6 of Mountain View. Andrew under center, give the ball off. Down to about the 5. Maybe just to wedge it inside the 5 is Tanner Lucas. These have been 2 impressive drives put together by Chandler. The last one went 80 yards. This one started at their own 27. So if they get this one in, it will be a drive of 73 yards. Of course, this team has to be oozing with confidence, Chandler. They've come in with 6 wins in a row. Region champion, seeded 4th in the playoffs. Pitch to Coulter, and oh, great play from the backside. Jesse Goodman, the linebacker. Oh, did he come around and make the play?
Chandler really has done nothing attacking the ends of Mountain View. Mountain View, if nothing else, is well prepared to stop Chandler on the sweep plays tonight.
So now the defense trying to dig in for Mountain View. It is 3rd down and goal from the 5, just outside the 5. Well, Prigge has played well tonight. Let's see if they look for him possibly. Moody is split far to the far side of the field. Andrew, play action, throws for the goal line. Incomplete. He was going for Prigge, and the ball fell incomplete. Runyon and Cody Smith over defending in the area. So it's 4th down, and Dante Buscaglia will come on to try and tack on 3 points at least for the Wolves. Another look. They were going to Prigge and unable to hang on. Ball thrown a little bit low. Prigge goes down. He is open, as you see. But the pass incomplete. Now there's a Chandler Wolf down on the field, and they're tending to him down at around the 5-yard line. Anthony Stevenson now. Remember, Stevenson did not play in the last regular season game against McClintock. Back again here tonight, and now down on the play. Stevenson, the left side guard, who also doubles as a linebacker with this Chandler football team. He's up. That's good to see. There's Jim Sherman heading off the field. So this drive for Chandler started on their own 27-yard line. This drive has consumed 12 plays, and it's eaten up almost 7 minutes of the clock. 6 minutes and 50 seconds on this drive. And they'll try and come away with 3. Biscaglia to try and drill his 11th field goal of the year out of the hold of Andrews. Call it a 23-yard attempt. Ball down, kick on the way, and it is good. 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first half. And Chandler comes away with 3 points. So there's timeout with the score. Mountain View 14 and Chandler 10.
Well, one thing for sure, Chandler has served notice to the Toros that you are not going to run us over.
Well, in the opening playoff game for Mountain View, they had trouble with Deer Valley and finally pulled away in the second half as Delvin Schutz stops by to say hello. The last time Chandler got this far in the playoffs, Delvin Schutz was the head coach. And his son Deke, who is now an assistant, was the quarterback in a wishbone offense. Next week we will be at Sun Devil Stadium. Yours truly, along with St. Mary's head football coach Pat Farrell, who will join me in the booth, and we will bring you the state championship game. So a 7-minute drive for Chandler. And they got something out of it. They would have liked to have had 7, but they came away with 3. Bryce Weiler back deep. Biscaglia to kick off. .4:22 to go till halftime. This time Biscaglia will kick it deep, and it will back Shipley into the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. Well, that's the best way to prevent the run back. It's just drill it in the end zone. And now here comes the Toro offense back out on the field. America West Airlines offers the same amenities that you'll find on other national airlines, but they offer them for less. For everyday low fares, call your professional travel agent or America West. So Gunning has them at the 20 after Chandler had just eaten up 7 minutes of the clock to come away with 3 points. First downs in the game, Chandler 9, Mountain View 4. Gunning to throw, gets it out, it's complete. Sherman out of the backfield. Close to first down yardage. Dustin Sherman, 5'10" junior running back. That's his 4th catch of the year. Came into the game with 3 catches for 34 yards. Dustin Sherman.
He just circles out of the backfield. Linebacker is on him. That's Stevenson, 54, not quite quick enough, and they get 9 yards out of it.
Pitch the ball back. This is Shipley. And Shipley's got a first down as he's out near the 35. Call it the 34-yard line. They just like to utilize Shipley and Weiler behind that big offensive front. Runyon in, Schaefer out for Mountain View. Bernie Buskin, his first year, went 10-3 a year ago. He is 22-3 in a short tenure here at Mountain View. Shipley, stutter step, nowhere to run, no gain as he's knocked down at the 34-yard line.
That was Falk against 73, who was there to make the stop.
Also up there was Bello.
Yep. But Bello was really active tonight here in the first half, isn't he?
He played very well the last time we saw him, and duplicating that here tonight. Another look is Shipley looking for some kind of running room. Can't go that way, tries to cut it back up the middle, and there's white jerseys there to stop him. 2:55 to go till halftime. Pitch the ball back. Shipley on a sweep. And the tackle made, and coming up, Johansson Scott from the secondary to spill the ball carrier. Nice play by Scott.
You know what the problem was for Mountain View? Bogle was leading the block on the play. There were two Chandler Wolves over there. He couldn't decide which one to go after, and as it wound up, he went after neither one of them.
So the ball is out to the 35-yard line. Here's another look.
Bogle is a horse over there. He just can't decide who to. Well, he finally makes an effort to go after one of them, but it's too late.
It's almost like Scott ran right past him here. Watch it again. Bogle's trying to get a piece of Scott, but Scott fights right through it to make the tackle. Hand the ball off up the middle out to about the 39-yard line on third down. Well shy of first down yardage. Nate Woods has the tackle made by Sean Falk. And it's
playing it rather close to the vest here. Third down, passing situation, still a couple minutes to go in the half, and they decide to run for it on 3rd and long.
14-10, Toros lead. Kelly to kick it away. Scott and Moody who stand back deep. Scott has run 2 kickoffs and a punt back this year for a touchdown. And Jeremy Kelly to punt. He averages 40 yards per punt this year. He kicks it to Scott, who fields by the sideline. Scott looking for running room. Johansson Scott is hit and knocked down out over the 30, up near about the 32-yard line. So Chandler to see if they can do something in the final minute and a half of the first half to try and get some more points on the board. Been a good first half so far. 14-10, Mountain View leading. Toros led 7-0. Chandler came back to tie it at 7. Toros went back in front 14-7. Chandler sliced into the lead, getting 3 on their last possession on the field goal by Biscaglia to make it 14-10. Barry Sollenberger, the editor of Phoenix Metro Football, will join us at halftime. Andrew, play action, over the middle, he's got Moody, Eric Moody, he's in Toro territory down near the 47-yard line. Well executed play by Chandler. About a 20-yard pickup on the pass play that time from Andrew to Eric Moody. And now they'll get right to the line of scrimmage. Another look.
Little play action, Moody is angling over the middle, wide open.
Boy, I said it the last time I saw Andrew. I like the way he throws the football. And he's thrown it well here in the first half. Drops to throw. Out pattern. Complete over by the sideline. Again, he's got Moody inside the 40 of Mountain View to the 39. The play calling has been excellent tonight. They really have moved the ball smartly and efficiently down the field.
Well, the drive is only 2 plays old, but the Toros seem to be a bit tentative on defense. It's no surprise that Chandler is putting the ball in the air right here. It's not as if the Wolves have any other choice.
Andrews 7 of 12 for 128 yards so far in the first half. Looks, throws, got a man. Johansson Scott is inside the 30 to the 28-yard line of Mountain View. That is a first down for the Wolves.
George Brig Bunker, 24 in the secondary for Mountain View, slipped and fell. He was behind Scott, he slipped and fell, and that left Scott an easy opportunity to catch the pass.
Chandler on the move. They start the clock. We approach 1 minute to go till halftime. Andrew under center. They're giving him time to throw. Out pattern incomplete. Scott, the intended receiver. That'll stop the clock with 56 seconds to go.
And it looked as if Scott that time slipped as he turned to make his cut to the sideline, although I'm not sure it made any difference because the pass was underthrown.
So Chandler, after taking the punt, has moved it from inside their own 35 down to the 28-yard line of Mountain View. You know, we looked into the stands about 5 minutes before kickoff, and there were a lot of seats to be had, but this home side of the field pretty well filled up for Mountain View now, and suddenly Chandler's side has got a lot more people in than we looked over earlier in the ball game. Andrew with a pump fake, feeling pressure, gets it away, it's incomplete. Try to hit Moody down to about the 10-yard line. And over on coverage, Brig Bunker, the cornerback. Bunker with a pass interception this year for the Toros. Some of the crowd here tonight, you take a look at Dobson High School. We have been over here the past couple of years for playoff action. 2 years ago, did 2 playoff games from here at Dobson, back-to-back weeks. Penalty marker down. This is going against Chandler. Pass thrown out, and it is caught. Oh, no, incomplete inside the 20, but there was movement just before the snap of the ball on the part of Chandler. 43 seconds to go. Till halftime.
It may have been Scott. The official who threw the flag was standing right next to Scott, and it looked as if Scott started to move before the ball was snapped. In any event, regardless of who the Chandler guilty player is, it is going against the Wolves, although I think Mountain View has to take the penalty here because Biscaglia is a field goal threat.
Bob Cush.
Motion on the offense. Declined. 4th down.
But Mountain View says if Biscaglia is that good, go ahead.
So it's 4th down, and Chandler's going to go for it. Forget the field goal.
Now they're going to call timeout.
Well, they'll call time and talk it over. I would think they'd come away with 3 at least. I'd bring Biscaglia on and try and kick it if it was me, but we'll see what Jim Sherman and Ned Jolly want to do. We'll take a break from here at Dobson High School, come right back. Seconds to go till halftime. Toros lead by 4.
Join us at Old Chicago Pasta and Pizza for the Valley's greatest Chicago experience. We have the best deep dish pizza in town. And be sure to bring the family because the price is right. We pile the freshest ingredients high on our unique whole wheat or white crust. And don't forget to stop in our sports bar, where we're proud to feature the Valley's largest selection of beer, 115 from around the world. We're located at the corner of Broadway and Roosevelt in Tempe, 530 West Broadway.
We're back at Dobson High School. George Allen, Doug Gerlach, Bob Corwin, and George Allen Jr. in the booth.
And Biscaglia has come out. Chandler may not have realized it was 4th down, and that's called a timeout. Biscaglia is out. He will set up just inside the 35-yard line, so about a 44-yard field goal attempt coming up. This is within his range. He can do it from here.
He had a 48-yarder in the game against Marcos when he kicked 3 field goals, the game winner from 22 yards away. So we'll call it 45 yards out of the hold of Andrew to try and get the Wolves to within 1. Clean snap, ball down, kick on the way, and it hits the upright and goes off to the side, no good. So had plenty of distance, but bounces off the upright, and it is no good.
Well, this is not the way he wanted to kick it. It was a line drive. This is not the way it's done in practice. Andrew did a good job. It looked as if he had to juggle the ball momentarily before he got the ball down. And that one just missed, didn't it?
So watch Biscaglia as he gets it away, trying to body English it through. Won't go.
Yeah, tell you what, it hit the upright so hard it's still vibrating.
So the Toros with the ball now, and they give it off to Weiler, and Weiler's going to be hit and dropped right at the line of scrimmage with 30 seconds to go till halftime. Toros lead 14-10.
Well, Mountain View does not have to snap the ball again, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Toros stay right where they are. Nope.
15 seconds to go. This could be the final play of the first half. Gunning under center. 2nd and 10. Give the ball off again to Weiler. Got maybe a yard, and that'll do it. So, a competitive first half of football here at Dobson High School in our Class 5A semifinal matchup. It is halftime with the score. The top-ranked Toros of Mountain View, 14. And the number 4-seeded Wolves of Chandler, 10. Stay with us now. Halftime activity next on Cox Sports.
Welcome back to Classic High School Football on YurView. I'm Chris Harris, and you're watching the 1996 Arizona State semifinal between the Chandler Wolves and Mountain View Toros. It's 14-10 at the half. A very competitive game between two outstanding teams. The Toros were led by Bernie Buskin, who was trying to win his first state title and get out from the shadow of longtime Mountain View head coach Jesse Parker, who captured 4 state titles since the school had opened in 1976. Chandler playing for their fallen head coach Jerry Loper, who, as we mentioned earlier, passed away tragically in a car accident during the middle of the season. The Wolves dedicated the rest of the year to their beloved coach and put themselves in position for a huge upset and a trip to the state championship game. Stay tuned. The second half is up next, and you don't want to miss it.
Back at Dobson High School halftime. Toros leading the Wolves of Chandler 14-10. And the first half, pretty much with the exception of a couple of plays, belonged to Chandler, despite the fact that they are on the short end of the score. Mountain View got the scoring underway on Chandler's first possession on a 4th down punt. Watch it here as the Toros come charging. And they get Dallas Hart and the punt, and Chad Shipley will pick it up, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. And just like that, with about 2 minutes gone in the ball game, Mountain View led 7-0. But Chandler came back. A big pass play to Ricky Prigge set up this touchdown 3-yard run by quarterback Chris Andu. Dante Biscaglia's kick made it 7-7. But then a good run back of a kickoff by Bryce Weiler set the Toros up in good field position, and then Weiler finishes it off as he'll take the pitch from quarterback Tate Gunning and sweep the right side of the line from 12 yards out. Bryce Weiler goes in untouched, and the Toros led 14-7. Chandler came back on a field goal to make it 14-10, then right before the half, Dante Biscaglia with another attempt, and this one hit the goal post and bounced off. It could have brought the Wolves to within 1, but it's 14-10. Here are the halftime stats. Look at the total yardage. 120 more total yards for Chandler, but the most important thing of all is that score, and Mountain View leads it 14-10.
George, right now you would have to say the play of the football game is that blocked punt. Chandler's offense has outscored Mountain View's offense 10-7. But Mountain View is leading the football game because of that block punt. Mountain View had 4 possessions in the first half. They had 1 touchdown drive, but it was a short touchdown drive set up by a long kickoff return. On the other 3 possessions, nothing.
Mountain View kicked off to Chandler, and then they got the block punt for the touchdown. Then Mountain View kicked off to Chandler again. Chandler went 3 and out. Mountain View got it back in great field position. Couldn't move it, punted. Chandler marched it down the field and scored. Kicked off to Mountain View. The Toros came back and scored to take the lead. And then Chandler came back to get a field goal to make it 14-10. This time they scrib it along the ground. It is bobbled, picked up, and the tackle made out of around the 30-yard line on that short kick.
George, the one thing about Mountain View, and I'm sure that the Toros are not happy with their first half performance. There have been other games this year when they have gone into halftime and Bernie Buskin has reminded them that they did not play Toro football. I don't know if this is one of those games or not. It remains to be seen whether the Toros are a much different team here in the second half. We ought to get a good indication on this, the first possession.
Well, here we go. Start of the second half. Final 24 minutes of football. Ball out over the 30-yard line for Mountain View to start this. To the air. First play, and the pass completed over the 40 to the 45-yard line. And just like that, the Toros pick up 14 yards on the first play. The pass to Jayton Jadlow. Jadlow, 5 catches coming in for 150 yards.
Eric Moody, the quarterback, was playing well off Jadlow anyway, but then slipped and fell to the ground. So Jadlow had all kinds of room to run after he caught the pass when he was wide open.
Toros just did not throw the football in the first half. You may see them come out right here. Gunning wants to throw. He's wrapped up and dropped. Sack on the play. Alvarez coming in to record the sack. He now has 4.5 sacks on the year, and that'll put it back to the 41-yard line.
2 snaps here to start the second half, 2 pass plays. So Mountain View giving some indication that it is going to try to open things up, but this time Alvarez is too quick for the Toro front line and gets into the backfield to drop Gunning.
So the first sack of the ball game for Chandler, recorded by Alvarez as he drops Gunning back at the 41. Quick drop, Gunning out pass, dropped by Schaefer. Put it right in his hand. Schaefer couldn't hang on up at around the 41-yard line. And now it's 3rd down. And about 15 to go for the Toros. Just the start of the second half. We'll be with you from Sun Devil Stadium next week for the 5A championship. The winner of this game against the winner of Brophy Amphi. Toros 2 for 4 on 3rd down conversions tonight. Trips right for the Toros as Gunning will drop to throw. Rolling right and throwing, and the catch made. No, Schaefer tried to keep his feet in and make the catch. Couldn't get it done, and the ball out of bounds. And the Chandler defense holds on the first series here in the second half, forces Mountain View Toros to punt.
Yeah, but 4 snaps to start the second half for Mountain View, 4 pass plays. They didn't try to run it all on the first possession.
Kelly to punt. Moody and Scott back deep. Kelly standing inside his own 30 to await the snap from center. Kelly gets it away, and he booms one out. Let's see where they put it out, because out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. And they're going to move it up to the 36-yard line. And that's where Chandler will go to work 1st and 10 from the 36.
What, about a 25-yard punt?
About a 23-yard kick.
Well below his average.
Yeah. He's averaging 40 yards a punt. So Chandler in good shape to start this drive from their own 36, their opening possession of the second half. Andrew, outstanding first half, threw for 140 and ran for 1 touchdown. Double wideouts to the far side of the field. Play action, Andrew to throw, got a man, Priggy, and they know they say he caught it out of bounds. So Priggy's reception out of bounds, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down 10. Priggy, big first half, the tight end for Chandler. First half, Moody, 3 catches, 45 yards. Priggy, 3 catches, 64 yards. And again, Andrew threw for 140 yards. Special teams in that first half, Mountain View, a block punt, and remember Weiler's run back on the kickoff. 2 very big plays for Mountain View. Andrew again over the middle. Oh, he threw it right in there. Great throw to Moody. He had to drill that pass and he put it right where it had to be. That's a 1st down Chandler.
That's the same play on their touchdown drive in the first half. They had a 3rd and long and threw it to Moody over the middle. Come right back with it here.
Boy, what a great throw by Andrew that time. Over the middle. It's into Toro territory at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10, Chandler. Lucas and Calder in the backfield. Double wideouts to the far side. Calder, 2nd man through. Eddie Calder finds running room. Calder is down inside the 35. That's another 1st down for the Wolves of Chandler. That's about a 12-yard run by Eddie Calder.
Well, you just knew that something like that was going to happen. Chandler's so successful through the air in the first half, comes out throwing here in the second half, and now decides to mix it up. Coulter just knifes his way through there and gets a nice gain.
Almost looked like that might have been a missed handoff for a moment.
It looked as if he juggled it.
The ball is at the 34-yard line.
Boy, nice block by Lucas, leading the blocking through the line there.
1st down, Wolves on the prowl here in the second half. Andrew wants to throw, and he's wrapped up and dropped. Sack on the play. Might have been Trent Barber, or was it Nate Bennett who got through that time? Bennett, 6'2 junior.
This actually is not a bad play by Andrew. He was looking at Priggy moving across the middle. Priggy had Toros draped all over him. He would have had to try to force it, might have had an interception if he had, and instead he just ate the football.
So Bennett gets the sack. The ball is back to the 39-yard line. It is now 2nd down and about 16 to go. Andrew drops to throw. He's looking. Out pattern complete to Rogers. Rogers is ridden out of bounds by Brig Bunker over near the 35-yard line. So they got about 4 or 5 of it back. It's still going to be 3rd down and long for Chandler.
This is a nice job of tackling by Bunker. If he doesn't make this tackle, it's doubtful that Chandler picks up the 1st down, but this is the difference between 3rd and long and 3rd and relatively short.
Scott Rogers on the receiving end of that one. He caught a 19-yard touchdown pass earlier this year in the win against Mountain Point. Big win that was for Chandler, too, during the regular season. Andrew drops, looks, throws, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Johansson Scott. And over covering on the play was Todd Heap. So it's going to be 4th down now coming up. Here's another look at the throw. Pretty well thrown ball here by Andrew.
The Toros had 7 men dropped off on this play for pass coverage, and Heap right there to bat it away. Punting time for Chandler. Mountain View has blocked 1, came close a 2nd time.
Chance here for Dallas Haught to try and pin the Toros deep. First punt was blocked. 2nd punt only went 22 yards tonight by Haught. We'll see if he can get off a better effort this time. Bounces one back to him. Picks it up a mile high. Coming up for the ball and making the catch is Weiler. And well done by Haught as it's inside the 15-yard line of Mountain View. 1st down for the Toros. So each team's had the ball once now in the 2nd half. And each team has had the punt. 8 minutes, 40 seconds left, 3rd quarter. Toros 14, Wolves 10. The winner will play for the state title next week at Sun Devil Stadium. Mountain View runners, the running game of Mountain View, which has been a strong point all year long, they have been stopped for 1-yard gain or less 8 times in 15 rushes tonight. Half the time they've gotten a yard or less. This time a little bit of a hole. And a gain of about 5 yards. As that time Weiler squirts through. Near the 19-yard line, Sean Falk to tackle. Here it is again. Weiler, big hole right there.
It's like Dan Page, among others up front, really threw a big block behind which Weiler was able to run.
Carling comes out of the ball game. Jadlow in at the flanker spot. Schaefer comes wide to the near side of the field. Jadlow goes to the far side and now starts in motion. Hand the ball off. Weiler, not much running room there at all. The Chandler defense up front makes the play. And it's going to be 3rd down coming up. Butch Metcalf. Right there in your picture. Butch Metcalf, who was a coach on Frank Cush's staff and did a great job, too, when coming over from UTEP. Again, Jadlow in motion on 3rd down and about 3 to go for the Toros. This time they pitch the ball wide. Weiler sweeping, and he's hit and dropped. And we'll see what they get in forward progress.
It's close.
It is close.
Nope, it's 4th down. He didn't get it, George.
So he did not get there, and Jeremy Kelly comes on the field to punt the football.
Time will tell. This may be a huge play for Chandler. 3rd down and short now. Well, they just may have decided to reconsider and measure for it. Mountain View sent its punting team on the field.
The punting team was indeed headed on the field. Now they'll bring the sticks all the way across from the other side. Chandler trying to get to the championship game in the big school classification for the first time ever. They put down the football and they're short. It is 4th down. Well, we've said this before. If Jess Parker was here.
If Jess were here, they would be going for it.
But Bernie Buskin will sell YurView Kelly on.
That is not to say that this is an incorrect decision by Bernie Buskin.
Right.
That was just Parker's personality.
Kelly 3 punts for a 30-yard average tonight. His last one went only 23 yards. Chandler should come out of this with pretty decent field position. They start the clock. Moody is deep with Scott. And Kelly standing in around his own 10 to await the snap. Score remains 14-10. Toros on top. That was our halftime score. Kelly with a clean snap and gets a nice kick away. This chases Moody back to the 36. He fumbles, picks it up, and he'll go right down there. Nice kick that time by Kelly when they needed one.
And Moody may have had ideas of running with it before he had it.
About a 40-yard punt that time. 42 yards by Kelly. And watch here as Moody lets it go right through.
You see, he was looking upfield before he had it. And he's lucky that he was able to fall on it and keep possession for the Wolves.
Mountain View trying to hang on to their top ranking, move on to the championship game. They are ranked number 7 in the West in the USA Today rankings. They're looking for their 5th state championship, but they've got a wolf on their hands tonight. Chandler. Boy, they have played them tough. Here's Colder. Colder squirts through, and Eddie Colder is out to about the 44-yard line. He got about 7 on that carry. Sepulveda in on the tackle for Mountain View. Eddie Coulter, 5'6", 140 pounds of dynamite.
That's Tanner leading the way through the line. And also Mowry, number 50, turning his man around to help open the hole off left guard.
Colder, last week against Maryvale, had a 19-yard touchdown run in the 38-7 quarterfinal win for Chandler. Andrew running option. He'll pitch it back to Colder. Colder cuts it back inside and he's got a first down. Colder's out over the 50-yard line down to the Toro territory. Andrew waited till the last possible moment to pitch it.
Did he ever? First time tonight that the Wolves have run the option play. And the ground game for Chandler is starting to show some life. This is actually the first time tonight that Chandler has had any success attacking Mountain View on the ends.
Colder right there on the sweep. Chaffee brings him down. Ball in Toro territory. First down for Chandler. Central Region champions. Andrew to throw. Out pattern. Complete. Penalty marker down. Right in front of the Chandler bench. Priggy made the catch at around the 41-yard line.
This may be going against Chandler. Cody Smith is clapping over there.
Yes, he is.
Oh.
There's the flag. They call the offensive pass interference on Priggy. So a tough call on Chandler will move them back.
Pass interference on the offense. Loss of down, 15 yards, second down.
Well, that's a killer.
That is a killer.
Take another look and see if we can pick it up. Oh, if there was offensive pass interference, it was before our camera was able to catch up to the play.
This takes the football all the way back to the 38-yard line of Chandler. Remember, they were in Toro territory at about the 48, so a 15-yard penalty. Also, loss of down, second and about 25. Andrew lets it fly down the field, going to be intercepted. Picked off by Nate Runyon at the 33-yard line. Runyon, his 8th interception of the year. He had 6 a year ago. That's not bad. 14 picks in the last 2 years for number 84, Nate Runyon.
Well, Priggy actually was open on this play. Andrew overthrows him. You see, Priggy's there. He could have made the catch, but the ball didn't get to him. A lot of time for the Chandler quarterback, who's had a good night. He just misfired this time.
So the Toros get it back. The ball at the 33-yard line of Mountain View. Tate Gunning leads them up. Play action. Now Gunning rolls, fakes the pitch, keeps and goes ahead for good yardage on first down. 5:15 to go, third quarter. Toros lead 14-10. Gunning, not a bad runner either.
Well, when he gets around the end here, only Moody, 82 for Chandler, is over there. Moody stays with the pitch man, and then Gunning turns it up. And fortunately for Chandler, others are able to come down and stop it for only about a 5-yard gain.
Last week in the quarterfinal win, Gunning threw for 188 yards and ran for a touchdown in the win over Highland. Good gain on first down. Now they pitch the ball back, and this is Weiler, and Weiler dives ahead. He is close to first down yardage. Make him up a little bit short. It's going to be third down and about a yard to go. Bryce Weiler.
Well, now we see Mountain View with a couple of plays aimed at Chandler's ends.
Mountain View is the kind of a football team where when you get opportunities to do something against them, you better do it. Because if you don't capitalize, just lost opportunities. Sooner or later, they're going to get the ball and do something with it. And although they've been held in check a good portion of the night, they're going to stretch the change and measure for this first down and see whether or not Weiler got it. Comes up a little bit short. But, you know, we've talked all night about how Chandler's moved the ball up and down the field, but they are still down 14-10.
Well, Mountain View had to stop in the first half when Chandler looked as if it was going to go in for a touchdown, had to settle for the field goal. And then Chandler was moving well right before the end of the first half, sputtered a little bit, still had a legitimate shot at a field goal, but it hit the upright. And now here in the second half, they're in Mountain View territory, and that offensive pass interference penalty, it's not called very often, but it was called this time, and it really hurt.
Gunning taking his time as he comes to the line of scrimmage. It is third down and about a foot to go. And Gunning's got the first down. It'll be either Mountain View or Chandler to oppose either Brophy or Tucson Amphitheater for the state championship next week. And we hope you'll be with us from Sun Devil Stadium. Pat Farrell will join us in the booth, and we will tell you about the state title game next week. Right here, the Toros have the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line, leading by 4. Quick drop Gunning, and he bullets one out incomplete, Carling the intended receiver. And that'll stop the clock with 4:01 to go in the third quarter.
Some kind of a mix-up, obviously. That pass was thrown well behind Carling, who was just streaking straight upfield.
You know, we talked about playoff games here on this field 2 years ago. We did 2 playoff games from here at Dobson. The St. Mary's Mesa game, where St. Mary's upset Mesa in a quarterfinal game, handing the Jackrabbits their only loss that year. And then we also, the following week in '94, saw Horizon and South Mountain on this field in a tough football game that Horizon won. And then last year, I believe you did the game here with Mountain Point and St. Mary's in the state semifinal matchup. Gunning to throw, trying to get away from trouble, and he's hit and knocked down right. Was able to wedge his way back right to about the line of scrimmage.
Well, last year we had a bigger crowd here for that game. We had every St. Mary's alum since the school opened on one side and everybody from Ahwatukee on the other.
Another look at Gunning on this drop, and here come the Wolves. First guy to touch him is Scott Rogers. So it's third down coming up, 3rd and 10 from the 45-yard line. 3:25 to go, third quarter. No scoring in this second half. Gunning to throw, he's in trouble, he's going to be dropped. Big play made that time by Billy Wills, the defensive end, who broke through and got the sack.
Chandler gambled on that play. They brought a couple of linebackers. Wills is a defensive end, but he gets through because the Toros are trying to adjust, picking up the linebackers coming in, and Gunning doesn't have a chance.
So there's the sack.
Actually, it looked as if Woods might have had a shot at Mills, and Mills just went right by him because Woods was for a moment distracted.
Again, the Toros to kick. Last time, Kelly got off a 42-yard punt. Kicks this one to Scott, who fields at the 28. Johansson Scott doing a dance along the sidelines, gets out of bounds up and around the 38-yard line. So he got about 10 yards on the return. Scott has taken 2 kickoffs back for touchdowns this year. He went 80 yards on one kickoff return against Mountain Point, 78 yards against Marcus Deniza on another, and then 2 weeks ago took a punt back 55 yards against Horizon. Ball on their own 38. Chandler with the ball, 1st and 10. Thus far in the ball game, Colder unofficially 12 carries, 42 yards for Chandler, their leading ground gainer tonight. Chris Andrew over center. Toro show blitz, the option, the pitch back, Colder, and Colder can't get wide. Cody Smith was over there, Chaffee was up, Barber was up.
Well, it could have been worse because Jesse Goodman was all over Andrew while Andrew still had the football. This is Goodman from his linebacker position getting through there and has a hand on Andrew as he delivers the football to Coulter. Coulter does get it back just almost to the line of scrimmage.
The final 2 minutes of the third quarter about to unfold as Chandler comes to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10. Mountain View 14, Chandler 10. Second man through, Scott Rogers, and Rogers barrels his way through for about 5 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 5 to go from the 43 of Chandler. Mountain View ranked number 1 in the state, 12-0. Chandler, the Cinderella team, 9-3 coming into this game. They were perfect in their region this year, going 6-0. And they have won 6 in a row coming into this game. Toros have been tough all season long. Andrew runs option on the left side, fakes the pitch, now does pitch. Colder, 1st down, Eddie Colder. Where did he step out of bounds? Down near the 42-yard line of Mountain View. 1st and 10, Chandler.
You don't often see it run that way. Andrew kept the ball. The Chandler quarterback was well beyond the line of scrimmage before he pitched. I believe he could have picked up the 1st down himself. He's what? 4 or 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. He would have had the 1st down, but Coulter gets even more.
That's just how you draw it up on the board, isn't it?
I guess. Depends on who's bored.
1 minute to go, third quarter, and there's timeout on the field. Eddie Colder, 57 yards on the ground.
I'll say one thing about this game. We are, 1 minute shy at the end of the third quarter? There hasn't been very much of this football game played deep in Chandler territory.
That's for sure. Well, Phoenix Suns basketball coming your way on pay-per-view on Sunday, December the 8th. Reggie Miller leads the Indiana Pacers into America West Arena, and you'll be able to see that game. It starts at 7 o'clock, preview show at 6:30. And again, call your local cable operator to sign up for that one, the Suns and Pacers, this coming Sunday. Mountain View got a blocked punt 2 minutes deep into the game, ran it in for a touchdown, and they got a 12-yard touchdown run by Bryce Weiler. Chandler's touchdown, a 3-yard run by Chris Andrew, and a field goal by Dante Biscaglia. Here's Colder. Colder bounces off, now cuts it back down the field and gets about 3 yards or so, 3 or 4 yards inside the 40 of Mountain View, near the 38-yard line. Eddie Colder. Boy, now you even look at the miss of that field goal earlier in the first half. A field goal here would have put them in front had that one been good.
Also reminded something you said earlier here in the half. There are only a certain number of opportunities you get against a Mountain View team, and you need to take advantage of them. You almost have to think Chandler needs to make something out of this possession.
2nd down, and about 6. Scott split to the near side of the field. First man through, and a gain of maybe a yard by Tanner Lucas. Lucas, 180-pound senior. It's about 19 yards on about 7 carries for Lucas. That's the end of the quarter here at Dobson. We go to the final 12 minutes of this semifinal matchup. The Toros of Mountain View 14, the Wolves of Chandler 10. Be right back.
Hello and welcome back to Classic High School Football on YurView. You are watching the 1996 Arizona 5A semifinal game between the Chandler Wolves and Mountain View Toros. No scoring for either team in the third quarter. Defenses are stepping up. One player standing out is the Toros junior linebacker and tight end Todd Heap. Heap would go on to become an All-American at Arizona State and was an All-Pro tight end during his 12-year NFL career. In this game, Heap was outstanding on both sides of the ball, as well as special teams. However, the Toros had yet to target him on offense. Meanwhile, Chandler had to like the way the game was unfolding. They knew if they could stay close, they had a chance with big play back Johann Scott. Fourth quarter coming up. We'll see you after the game.
Next week, Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, the site for the Class 5A State Football Championship. It'll be one of these two teams, Chandler or Mountain View, against either Brophy or Tucson Amphitheater. We have 12 minutes to play in this one. Toros lead 14-10. Third down, Chandler. Andrew fakes the pitch, puts it inside, and he's down for a first down. Andrew is inside the 30, down to the 28 of Mountain View. That play has worked well tonight. And that time Andrew kept and cut it back.
Well, it didn't seem as if he had room to run, but somehow he found a way. Among others, 73 Falk over there to help block on the end and allow Andrew to cut back inside.
4 carries, 19 yards, and a touchdown for Andrew tonight. Wolves inside the Toro 30. First down. Andrew to throw. Gets it away. It is complete to Moody. Moody's inside the 20 to the 19-yard line of Mountain View.
Oh, a terrific effort by Moody, but he took a shot in the back when he came down.
They'll put it down at the 21. Andrew, right there. I'm going to tell you, Scott, Moody, and Priggy is as good a trio of receivers as we've seen in some time on one team.
Well, and Andrew's giving them a chance to catch the football, too.
Colder and Lucas in the backfield. Now they'll go option the other way, pitch the ball back. Colder, he's in trouble, he'll go down. Loss on the play. Maybe went to the well once too many times.
Well, and Mountain View may be a little inspired right now, realizing that things aren't going quite as easily as they might have hoped for.
Andrew rolling left this time. Gets his feet tangled up, and by the time he gets the ball to Colder, the Toro defense is there, and Todd Heap is the first guy to meet him. Third down, and about 4 to go from the 24. They are well within Biscaglia's range right now, but they want more than 3 out of this drive. Scott and Moody go wide to the far side of the field. Andrew, quick drop, gonna air it out to Johansi Scott. Scott's got it, touchdown! Touchdown Chandler! Johansi Scott on the pass from Chris Andrew.
Can you believe the call? Third and short, and they went for everything. And that play, and despite Andrew having a very good game and his receivers playing well, that's the one kind of play that hasn't worked tonight, where he's just thrown it up there to allow his receivers to run underneath. He's overthrown several times. This play has not worked. And even at that, it's a tad underthrown, because no, it isn't, actually. Scott did catch it in stride. And just like that, Chandler, which has been knocking on the door for quite some time, finally breaks through.
Greg Bunker was back on coverage on that play. Now Biscaglia for the try for point. Out of the hole, on the way and good. For the first time tonight, Chandler leads in this football game. 2 minutes deep into the fourth quarter. Chandler 17, Mountain View 14. What a year for Johansi Scott. He came into this game averaging 20 yards a catch. He had 1 touchdown catch on the year. He caught a 45-yard touchdown pass against Marcus Deniza. But he caught a big one right here.
I don't think so, Bob.
Great throw by Andrew.
Oh, they timed that one perfectly. That's when all the work during the summer, playing catch during the summer, comes back to pay dividends.
Another look again. Little bump there, but the catch made. Well, the really great teams show character, don't they? We'll find out pretty quickly in this one about character. 9 plays, 62 yards, 4.5 minutes eaten up on that drive by Chandler.
Well, for both teams. Now it's the character of the Toros that will be put to the test.
Exactly.
You're going to have to refresh my memory on the Brophy game. That's the only game this year in which Mountain View may have been behind this late in the contest.
They trailed at halftime. The ball was taken a foot deep into the end zone. Brophy had them down 17-14 at the half. Mountain View came out in the third quarter and got the lead back.
Yeah, they weren't trailing. Mountain View, I don't believe, was trailing in the fourth quarter.
They led 28-17. They scored 2 touchdowns after trailing 17-14.
So this is a first for the Toros.
This is a first. I don't remember them ever trailing at this point in a football game this year.
Well, most of their games they have won by comfortable margins.
The tight games they've had was the game with Red Mountain, which was a 17-14 game, and the game with Brophy.
They led 17-0 at halftime in that Red Mountain game.
They actually led 17-7 late before Red Mountain scored. They're going to try and keep it on the ground and get some yardage out for a gain of about 3.
And you have to wonder if Mountain View is going to have to win this ball game through the air. You figure they came into this game thinking we're going to run at them on the ground, try to be physical up front. It's the way we've done things all year. That really hasn't worked very much tonight, and Mountain View's ticket to the state championship game right now may rest on the right arm of that man right there, Tate Gunning.
Mountain View this half, they started drives at their own 32, 4 plays, and they had a punt. They started at their own 13, ran 3 plays, and punted the football. They started at their own 33, ran 6 plays, and had the punt. Here's a pitch to the end around to Heap. Heap wants to throw down the field, and it's almost picked off. Johansson Scott was right with the runner, Cody Smith.
Well, give Scott a lot of credit. It's easy to buy into that play and come up thinking it's an end around.
So a little fancy stuff from Mountain View. Gunning the pitch to Heap, the tight end coming around, and then he'll stop and he will throw to Cody Smith. But look at the good coverage by Johansson Scott.
Actually, Scott was in better, the way the ball was thrown, Scott was in better position to catch it than was Smith.
Now, 3rd and 7 from the 23. Schaefer split to the far side. In the slot. Weiler gunning to throw. Chandler's coming after him. He gets the pass away. And heading to Shipley. Shipley's out of the 40, to the 45. First down, Toros. He's knocked out of bounds at the 47. Big play for Mountain View.
Big play. Chandler was bringing linebackers that looked as if they had a shot to tackle Gunning for a loss. He found his receiver. There were plenty of blockers out there in front of him to help spring it.
24 yards on this pass play. Gunning dumps it off to Shipley. And Shipley gets out to the 47. Big 3rd down conversion.
And a big block by 74, Bob Monroe.
Trips left. Toros trail. 17-14. Give the ball off. Big hole. Nate Woods. Wrestled down by Johansson Scott at the 41 of Chandler. That's another first down. Give him 12 on the carry.
And really, for the first time tonight, Mountain View's offense starting to show some life, some enthusiasm.
Well, we talked about having to turn it on when you have to. Moment of truth.
Boy, Bogle and Heap on the right side of the line, both throwing huge blocks to open up a very wide hole.
Woods, the only running back in the backfield. He's got the ball off the right side, and Nate Woods fights for yardage inside the 40. 8:35 to go in the game. Chandler leading by 3. Schaefer coming out of the ball game. Runyon goes in for the Toros. Substitutions for Chandler as well. Gunning leads them up. Quick drop. Pump fake. Gets it away. Going long down the field, and this one is tipped. Did he catch it?
Yes.
Oh, what a catch! Nate Runyon. Eric Moody was right with him, and Runyon took it away inside the 5-yard line. Oh, what a great effort by Runyon.
And if you're Eric Moody, what can you say? He could not have defended this play any better. It was just an outstanding effort by Runyon.
That was a good move by Gunning to get himself some extra time. Big catch by Runyon. He came into this game with only 6 catches on the year. None any bigger than that one. Inside the 5. Give it off to Sepulveda. Sepulveda to the goal line. Touchdown, Mountain View. Carlos Sepulveda, from about 3 yards out, scores his 11th touchdown of the year. And it gives Mountain View the lead once again. 20-17, big extra point upcoming.
2 big pass plays, though, on that drive. One, the screen play that got the ball into Chandler territory, and then that huge effort by Runyon to put the ball inside the 5.
This is the only sustained drive Mountain View's put together this entire half. It couldn't have come at a better time for the Toros. Now Kelly for the extra point on the way, and it is no good. He missed the extra point. That is a big miss, because instead of a 4-point lead, it's now a 3-point lead. 20-17, Mountain View. Heck of a ball game.
Yeah, what it means now is if Chandler moves the ball upfield rather quickly, faces a 4th down play, they don't have to think about going forward on 4th down. They can settle for the tie score if there's enough time left.
Here's the touchdown again. When they're in close, they like to give it to Carlos Sepulveda. And some good blocking up front. He wedges his way through.
Some good blocking, but
boy, what a catch by Runyon on this drive. Here it is again. The pass down. Moody's got great position, and Runyon, great concentration to haul that pass in.
well, if the Toros get to the state championship game, and if they win the state championship when they put the highlight film together, that play may be one of the biggest plays of the year.
Mountain View leads by 3. Kelly to tee it up. Johansi Scott would love a shot at the ball. I doubt if he's going to get to touch it. Next week, the championship. And again, come on out to Sun Devil Stadium. I guarantee you'll enjoy yourself. It's a great Friday night every year. The 4A championship kicks off at 5 o'clock, Tempe and Ironwood, and the 5A title game to follow. Kelly to kick off. It is high. It's going to come to Scott. He's going to get a shot right near the goal line. He hands it off to Moody. Moody's trying to get wide. Eric Moody going wide, looking for a block. Moody over by the Toro sideline, gets knocked out of bounds. Back at the 22 or 23, they say he stepped out.
Chandler a bit disappointed. Moody was finally hit about the 32-yard line, but they're going to lose 10 yards because that's the point where he has been ruled to have stepped out.
Bernie Buskin was, I believe, hollering at the officials down there. I don't know whether he wanted a clip or not. But the ball ruled out of bounds. There evidently is a call against Mountain View.
Well, Mountain View's backing up. So either it's going against them or the Toros have been misinformed.
Bernie Buskin right there.
On this kicking team.
Now Tommy Vaughn's going to come over and talk about Cush. Tom Vaughn on the left of your screen and Bob Cush on the right of your screen. Cush, the referee. Tommy Vaughn, the former pro football player with the Lions. And it is indeed going against the Toros.
Well,
so they are indicating a block against Mountain View.
Yeah, here's something else, George. It remains to be. They said 15 from the end of the run and appeared to be ready to step it off from the 32, even though he ran out of bounds at the 22.
On a call like that, you certainly expect the block to be against the run-back team, but not so. They call it against Mountain View.
You could see on our replay, while the play was still in progress, now they're going to wave it off.
Now they're going to wave it off.
I thought I saw on a replay Bernie Buskin jump up, and he may have had a legitimate complaint. It looked as if there was a block thrown by Chandler.
He didn't look too happy right there.
Take another look at it. Right. Well, no block. Right there. Oh, that's a good block.
That's a clean block.
There's nothing wrong there.
Nevertheless, Chandler gets the ball out over the 30.
They're going to get it at the 32, even though it was... It looked as if the official on the near sideline had ruled that he stepped out at the 22.
7.5 minutes to go in this ball game. Mountain View is leading by 3.
And now Buskin is talking to another official seemingly about that. There is no question in my mind. It was another official, but I saw another official wave his arms and stand at the 22-yard line, and the only thing he could have been indicating is that's where Moody stepped out of bounds. They now have the ball spotted at about the 32-33. So Chandler's going to wind up with some bonus yardage here.
That was Jim Sherman on the other side of the field talking with the official, and there's Bernie Buskin from Mountain View.
Bernie wants to talk to Bob Cush.
So now Cush will come over, and he'll have to explain the situation. The score at halftime of this ball game was 14-10, Mountain View. Chandler scored here in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes to go in the game to take the lead. But the Toros have just put together a drive to come back and retake the lead, 20-17.
Okay.
Chandler's got it at their own 32.
No penalty and no stepping out of bounds.
Andrews got Lucas and Calder with him in the backfield. Moody split to the far side of the field. This is Calder. Calder off the right side. Maybe a yard or so, not much more. Bogle. Jesse Goodman up off the pile. Along with Bennett. Put the ball out at the 35-yard line, give him a gain of 2. Make it a gain of 3. Second down, 7 to go. Andrew under center. Calder hit and drop, definitely gain of a couple. Barber made the tackle out over the 35. A very big, the biggest third down play of the night coming up for Chandler right here. They are 3 of 4 on third down conversions this half.
That was Nate Bennett, 79, who filled the hole for Mountain View and made the tackle.
But they'll forget all of those other third down conversions if they can't pick this one up. Andrew wanting to throw, being rushed, gets it away. Complete, first down. Out over the 45. They'll move the sticks. Great composure on the part of Andrew.
And complete in the middle of a host of blue jerseys.
They're going to put it down at the 47-yard line. It's a first down. Here it is again. Here he's in trouble and gets it away. Andrew unofficially 201 yards tonight, 13 of 24. In the face of pressure, he drilled it right in there. Well, what else would you expect of a semifinal? Had 2 outstanding teams having great seasons. Pitched the ball back. Sweeping is Rogers. Rogers is hit. Falls forward out near midfield. And they may put the football down in Mountain View territory.
Well, we've got, just a little bit more than 5.5 minutes to go in the football game. And you have to wonder, this may be Chandler's last best chance.
They go again with the pitch to Rogers. Calder knocked down right there. We'll talk with the winning coach after the ball game, make our America West Trophy presentation, so stay with us. Chandler trailing Mountain View 20-17. Friggy, the tight end, on the near side. Moody flanked to the far side of the field. Andrew gives to Coulter. Coulter's up the middle on a second down carry. They're going to put him down at around the 47-yard line.
It's rather interesting. They are trying to do it on the ground. 2 plays on the first set, 2 plays on the ground, setting up a third down play, which they convert. Now 2 plays on the ground, and now another third down play.
Third and about 3. Well, we saw Mountain View answer when they had to before. Now Chandler trying to do the same thing. Third down. Andrew wants to throw. Looks and throws short. Is it caught? No. Trapped by Moody. Right close to the first down marker, and now it is 4th down with 4:25 to go.
They're going to punt it.
They have at least 2 timeouts, maybe all 3 left. I can't remember if they called one earlier. But evidently Jim Sherman and Ned Jolly are going to try and pin Mountain View deep and call on their defense to make the stand.
Well, first they better get the punt off.
Dallas Hart standing at his own 40. The snap and the kick is away. Nice kick. Kicking it away from Weiler, who feels inside the 5. Now going across the field. Bryce Weiler in trouble, and he's knocked down at the 5-yard line. This is exactly what Chandler wanted, to pin him deep, and that's what they've done.
I'm not sure Weiler did his team any favors by catching that ball. There was no one around him. He's inside the 5-yard line. Why not let it go and see if it won't kick into the end zone so you get the ball at the 20?
Best punt of the night for Dallas Hart at the most important time. 43-yard kick. Well, here come the Toros. It's very simple. Mountain View wants to eat up time on the clock. Chandler cannot let them. They've got to stop him and get it back. It's Bernie Buskin on the sideline.
It's doubtful the Toros are going to be throwing any passes down here. So Chandler needs to be geared up for the run.
Woods in the backfield. Give the ball off. And a big run on first down. Stevenson made the tackle on Shipley. So Shipley gets about 5 on first down, and that's exactly what the Toros want to do, get a good gain on first down. Second down and about 5 to go. 3:50 to go. If the Toros pick up 1 first down here,
Chandler will have to start using timeouts.
Second and 5. Shipley again. Knocked down. It's going to be third down coming up, and he's still got about 3 yards or more to go for a first down.
How many times tonight in this game have we said this is a very important play? Here's another one for both ball clubs.
Well, I hope the state title game next week's as good as this one. Third down coming up and 3.
Less than 3 minutes to go.
Less than 3 minutes to go in the game. Gunning leads him up. And they got the jump. The defensive line for Chandler jumped. Boy, what a huge first down this is going to be for Mountain View. Here's the call. Offside against Chandler. Huge first down. Left of your screen.
I tell you what, did you see Gunning flinch just before the jump? That probably was accompanied by a change in the cadence or a change in his tone. But it doesn't matter. It's marked off against Chandler, and now 4 more snaps for the Toros.
Wolves got to start thinking about timeouts right now. 2.5 minutes to go. Mountain View leading 20-17. Pitch the ball off, penalty marker down as Shipley can't go anywhere.
Well, This is going to be a motion penalty on Mountain View. Chandler ought to think twice about taking it. To take the penalty moves them back but gives them an extra snap, and they can't afford that much more time to be run off the clock. It was stopped for no gain, maybe a short loss. Chandler ought to think about declining the penalty, and they are.
Jim Sherman over on the other side saying decline it.
On the offense, penalty is declined, 2nd down.
So it's going to be 2nd down, no gain on that last carry, so it's 2nd and 10.
But the clock starts.
2:20 to go.
This is something I don't understand. The ball was just put into play. Why is Mountain View running up to the line of scrimmage?
Well, if you're in their position, you take all the time you can.
Stay back in the huddle a little while longer.
Jadlow goes in motion. Give the ball off out to the 20.
Wolves ought to think about a timeout right here.
It's going to be 3rd down and long. 3rd and about 7. Here comes a timeout now. Timeout called by Chandler. So here we go again. 3rd down coming up. It's going to be about 7 to go. There's Jim Sherman. If Mountain View cannot pick up this 1st down, we are coming down to a wild finish in this one.
Well, I doubt if Chandler holds here and gets the ball back after a punt, I doubt we'll see Chandler spending a lot of time with plays on the ground. It's going to be Andrew left and Andrew right and Andrew up the middle trying to find receivers.
In this half, Mountain View is 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions, 500, and for the game, they're batting 500. They're 5 for 10 on 3rd down. And if the Toros cannot pick up the 1st down here or get very much yardage, Kelly's going to have to get off a pretty good punt, or Chandler's going to have good field position to start their final drive of the game.
What do you think you do if you're Mountain View right here? How about Weiler, who is so tough for them in key situations on that play that they run where he heads off tackle and slides off the end?
Jadlow and Schaefer wide out.
Well, Weiler's not back there, so it won't go to him.
Shipley takes the pitch. Shipley on a sweep. Cuts it back inside. He's got a 1st down. And that should be the ball game. How about that on 3rd and 7? You know, we talked about character before and a team having to step up and make the plays they have to make at the time they must make them.
74, Monroe pulls on the play. He winds up downfield.
It might have been Woods.
Woods with a terrific block on the end.
Yeah.
That may be the ball game, and for Chandler, it may be the season.
2nd charge timeout for Chandler, so they got 1 left. That's not going to be enough.
No.
Minute 46 to go. Mountain View took this ball at their own 5 to start this.
I think even the most rabid Toro partisan would agree with this. Assuming this score stays the way it is, one thing you cannot question is the character of the Chandler Wolves. Tonight and what they have done this season with what they were faced with the loss of Jerry Loper.
Well, you know what they want. They want to get to that state championship, but you're right. Their season has been a total success. Next week is going to be the title game at Sun Devil Stadium. You see the playback times on Fox Sports Arizona, and it looks right now like it's going to be Mountain View in one game. Everybody's hoping Mountain View, Brophy, rematch from earlier in the year. A lot of people hoping Chandler could win this game. Sentimental type of team. But it looks like it's going to be a whale of a championship next week. So it's out over the 25, 1st down. Hand the ball off, Shipley. Shipley off the left side is out over the 30-yard line. Well, one thing we know for sure, there'll be 2 new teams in the 5A state championship game this year, because the last 2 years, it has been Horizon and St. Mary's.
But we've known that for several weeks.
But there may still be a Desert Valley region
That's
team
right.
in the finals if Brophy beats Amphi in Tucson. We'll take a break from here at Dobson. Come right back. 1:37 to go. Toros hanging on by 3.
Join us at Old Chicago Pasta and Pizza for the Valley's greatest Chicago experience. We have the best deep dish pizza in town. And be sure to bring the family because the price is right. We pile the freshest ingredients high on our unique whole wheat or white crust. And don't forget to stop in our sports bar, where we're proud to feature the Valley's largest selection of beer, 115 from around the world. We're located at the corner of Broadway and Roosevelt in Tempe, 530 West Broadway.
We're back here again at Dobson High School. George Allen along with Doug Gerlach, Bob Corwin, George Allen Jr. working overtime tonight as our statisticians and doing a heck of a job. Gunning will just keep and go ahead.
Chandler is out of timeout.
They cannot stop the clock anymore. And the Toros just have to watch the final minute and 25 seconds tick away. And they will be in the state championship game next week at Sun Devil Stadium.
I'm sorry, George. Ball has just been put into play, which means Mountain View does not have to snap it until less than a minute remains. And the clock will continue to run after that. I think the best that Chandler could hope for, and they've got to stop them because Mountain View is within shouting distance of first down. The best that Chandler can hope for is to get the ball back with maybe 10 or 15 seconds to go.
The big play before 3rd and 7, and the Toros converted on the run by Shipley.
And it took too much time, did Mountain View, but what difference does it make at this point?
55 seconds to go.
They milk the clock for every second. So let's see. They run a quarterback sneak here. They don't get first down. It'll take about 10 seconds to put the ball in play. Another 25. That's 30. Then you get the punt away. 10 seconds at best will be left for Chandler.
Stay with us after the game. We'll visit with the winning coach. And right now it looks like Bernie Buskin. And we'll talk about the state title game next week. Here come the Toros. From out short of the 30. And Gunning keeps his footing, goes ahead, and then gets thrown back.
You know, one thing about Mountain View, too, the Toros' credit tonight, they take a great deal of pride in this, but the Toros did not turn the ball over tonight. They took care of the football. They had their hands full tonight, but one thing they did not do is beat themselves.
I give all the credit in the world to Chandler. They played a great football game tonight, did what they had to do to win the football game. But to the Toros' credit, when they needed to make the plays, they made it.
Yep.
And that's what championship teams do. Time winding down, and the Toros of Mountain View will be headed for Sun Devil Stadium next week. They're going to win this game. Penalty marker down again, and that again will be a delay of game with 11 seconds to go. Well, what a run for Bernie Buskin. He comes in and takes over a program at Mountain View from a legend, Jess Parker. Weren't supposed to be all that great last year. He takes them to the semifinals. They finished 10-3. They come back this year. They're now going to be 13-0. Heck of a year. So they will be 23-3 under Bernie Buskin's guidance. And boy, what a year for Chandler.
Yep.
They're going to finish 9-4. This is the farthest they've been in the playoffs in 12 years.
This one is going to hurt for a while because they had their chances, but as time goes on, when they look back at 1996, it can only be with pride. They have accomplished a great deal. You know, and I'll tell you one thing. They look like they're a better football team tonight than we saw them just a couple weeks ago.
Absolutely.
One of the things coaches take a great deal of pride in is teams getting better week to week to week. Chandler is indeed an improved football team just from a few weeks ago.
It is 4th down. Jeremy Kelly waits to snap from center. Kelly can just kick this one out of bounds if he wants.
Moody is ought to run out of bounds.
Moody's going to have a run back, and he throws it across the field to Johansi Scott. Scott looking for some running room, and Johansi Scott. Scott cutting down the field, penalty marker down, no, I saw something else. Scott to the middle of the field. Scott looking for one more block, he does not get it, and he is knocked down at the 22-yard line as time runs out. Hey, is that an ending or what? What a wild finish to this one. The Wolves of Chandler come up short. And the Toros of Mountain View stay unbeaten. And will head to the championship game next week at Sun Devil Stadium. The final here tonight. The Toro, matter of fact, the officials are huddling now. And we will see what the decision's going to be.
If it's a penalty against Chandler, the game is over.
Game is over, right.
Because Mountain View will decline it.
So we will see what the penalty call is.
However, if it's a late hit on Scott, look out. We've got one more play. We may have a field goal. Well, I tell you what, they are looking as if this does not look like a kind of penalty that's going against Chandler. What's there to discuss?
This is wild.
Here we go.
Stevenson says it is.
Anticipation on Mountain View will have one untimed down.
From where, though? We've got one more play, but from where?
That's right.
Is it from the end of the run?
If it's from the end of the run, they're going to go for the field goal
You
to tie
bet.
this game.
We're going to the 8. Going
Bernie.
to the 8. On the 8.
It's going to be on the 8-yard
We
line.
have one untimed down.
Holy, and here's Biscaglia.
All right.
Can you believe this?
This is wild. There's another.
Mountain View has too many men on the field on the punt return, and Chandler's going to get a chance to send it into overtime.
Look at this. Moody's going to throw it across the field to Scott. That's where they want to get the ball in his hands. Now look at the move Scott makes.
I'm counting players.
Stops here now. Watch him try and go wide. Here he comes back the other way. Watch. Right here. And boy, I'll tell you, right here, I thought he had a shot because there was a lot of open field over here.
And some men in front of him.
Yes. There's the penalty that was just thrown. Biscaglia is setting the tee up on the field as we talk to you. Scott cuts it inside, and there he stopped. The ball is going down to the 8-yard line. Biscaglia is going to set it up, and oh my. We were just talking moments ago. Mountain View headed to Sun Devil Stadium. Wave that off.
How big is a missed field goal at the end of the first half?
The one that hit the crossbar, the upright, and went off.
It's really hard to say, because if that field goal had been made, Mountain View would not have been running out the clock here at the end of the fourth quarter.
But Biscaglia is going to get a chance right now.
He's on the hash mark, though. This is the kind of kick that can be pushed very easily.
He made one from 23 earlier tonight. He missed one from 45. This one is going to be from 25 yards away to send this game into overtime. Out of the hold of Chris Andrew. Final play of regulation. Snap, down, kick, on the way.
Perfect.
It is good. We are going to overtime, and the Chandler side erupts. Bernie Buskin calling his team over. The Chandler Wolves are ecstatic.
It's still, obviously, it's still anybody's ball game. But you want to know something? Not 2 minutes ago, there were at least half a dozen Chandler players in tears because they thought the game was over.
This is unbelievable. Unbelievable, the ending to this one.
And right after we had said that Mountain View should be complimented for not beating itself, not making mistakes, they get too many men on the field. Ball is set up in high school playoffs. Ball is on the 15-yard line.
This is always easy for me to say, but had I been Jeremy Kelly on that punt, I would have just kicked it out of bounds. I would have tried to kick it up near midfield out of bounds, but he kicked it for a return, and it wound up hurting Mountain View. Here's the field goal.
Right through the upright. Chandler has been in an overtime game this year. It was against Marcos Deniza, and here's what happened in that ball game. Marcos Deniza got the ball first, and a pass was intercepted in the end zone by Chandler. That gave Chandler the ball. They didn't run a play. They sent Biscaglia out on the field. Immediately, he kicked the field goal, and they won it 29-26.
So now, the two coaches out at midfield getting the instructions as Biscaglia just ecstatic over that. So, Buskin is out there with Ned Jolly as they get the rules explained to them before we go to this overtime period. overtime. The winner going to Sun Devil Stadium, the loser going home for the season. Boy, Mountain View appeared to have this thing locked up. And all of a sudden...
Remember a couple things here in the fourth quarter we saw. Mountain View's offense came to life. They started running hard. They knew that they were in a ball game, and they did what they had to do.
We are back again. We are set to go to overtime in this semifinal matchup between Chandler and Mountain View. It was 14-10 Mountain View at the half. Chandler scored 2 minutes into the fourth quarter to take the lead 17-14. Mountain View then put on a drive and scored. However, Jeremy Kelly missed the extra point, which could have given them a 4-point lead. Instead, it was 20-17. That set the stage. Toros got the ball back late, picked up a key first down with about 2 minutes to go, and appeared to have this game wrapped up. But delay of game penalty stopped the clock and forced a punt on fourth down. The punt went to Eric Moody. He threw the ball across the field to Johansi Scott, who ran it back about 40 or 50 yards. A penalty on Mountain View put the ball at the 8 with no time left on the clock, all of this. And Dante Biscaglia came on and kicked the field goal to tie this game with no time on the clock. Now we're going to overtime.
George, I need to correct myself. I said that when in overtime, each team gets a ball in the 15. Each team gets a ball in the 10. 4 downs. Either you score or you don't. And there is no sudden death. Each team gets an equal number of opportunities to score. I haven't seen yet which team is going to go first. I don't know if even that has been decided. They're going to do a coin flip.
They are going to do a coin flip. Here come the co-captains out to midfield now. They take about a 3-minute break or so at the 3 or 4 minute break at the end of regulation. Then they'll have the flip of the coin, and the team that wins the flip has their option. They can either go on offense or on defense.
All right, fellas, shake hands. Let's go with overtime. Good job. Okay, if you win the toss, your choice is going to be offense, defense, and you choose which end of the field. You don't get the chance to defer. Okay? Call it in the air. If I drop it, we'll do again. Heads. You called heads, and it's tails. No, it's heads. You want to toss.
You want to go on defense.
You want to go on defense. Which end of the field do you want to play on? You want to go that way?
Go in that way.
Okay, so you guys put your back to that. Okay, and you're going to go on defense. Okay. Chandler has won the toss and is elected to go on defense. Mountain View will go on offense this way. All right, get your teams out, fellas.
Well, the advantage to Chandler, obviously, it's like being the home team in baseball. Chandler, when it gets the ball, knows what it has to do. And as I said, they won the toss in the game against Marcus Deniza. Let Marcus Deniza go first. Marcus Deniza didn't do anything. Chandler sent Biscaglia out immediately to win the football game. Mountain View doesn't have that luxury. Mountain View has to score one way or the other.
That's right. You do not have to score a touchdown on your possession. If after 3 downs you've only gained a few yards, you can go ahead and line up and kick your field goal on 4th down and force the other team to at least kick a field goal when they go on offense to force another overtime. So we'll put the football down on the 10-yard line. Mountain View's going to have it first.
Boy, how do you figure the emotion on these two ball clubs? If you're Mountain View, you had the game won, and now it's on the verge of being taken away. Maybe they come out just even doubly inspired. And Chandler, a huge sigh of relief. They might have a tendency to relax for a moment or two, and they can't afford it. A moment or two of relaxation, and Mountain View is going to be in the end zone.
This has been a heck of a football game tonight. Mountain View and Chandler. Class 5A state semifinal. The winner of this one to play at Sun Devil Stadium next week in the championship game against either Brophy or Tucson Amphi. Here we go. First down for Mountain View. First play of the overtime. Gunning with a long count. Gives it off to Sepulveda, who gets maybe 2 yards, down to about the 8.
So they start their possession with their short yardage man in there. Sepulveda, who gets the short yardage for them, gets the first call in overtime.
Bernie Buskin.
Picks up about 1.5 yards.
That was Jerry Wheeler standing next to Bernie. Butch Metcalf, Jim Sherman. There's Jerry Wheeler. He had a couple of great sons who played football at Mountain View. They were both great football players. Damon and Ty Wheeler. Second down, Mountain View. Give the ball to Sepulveda. Sepulveda off the right side. He's inside the 5. He's down to about the 2. Big run that time by Sepulveda.
And Mountain View just lining up and playing smash mouth football right here.
It is now 3rd down. Off the right side.
Boy, just everybody firing straight ahead. Backs coming through the line. And Sepulveda, who runs so hard.
3rd down from a couple of yards away. Gunning with a long count. Looks over the defense. Hands it off Sepulveda. Sepulveda tries to get there. He didn't get there. He didn't get there. It's going to be 4th down.
Well, what do you do if you're Mountain View? I think you have to kick the field goal. You have to get some points on the board. You can't come away from here without a score.
So it's 4th down. Yes, sir. Here comes Jeremy Kelly.
Tell you what, something else about this football game, we haven't mentioned it before. Or we haven't mentioned it since it happened. What about the missed extra point?
Oh, absolutely. Missed extra point, and at the time we called it, it was huge. You would have given them a 4-point lead. So here we go. Kelly, who has had such a great 2 years in a row for Mountain View. Kelly, 13 field goals on the season coming in. Out of the hold of Gunning to put 3 on the board for Mountain View and give them the lead again. Ball down, kick on the way, and it is good. So Mountain View's first possession of overtime, they get 3. And now they'll put the ball on the 10, and Chandler gets their opportunity.
The good news for Mountain View is the Toros are ahead. The bad news is Chandler's 10 yards away with 4 snaps.
I saw a playoff some years ago, a 3-way playoff between Mountain View, Westwood, and Mountain Point. It was for a 3rd place position in the spot in the playoffs, and they played it right on this field. And in the first set of overtime was Mountain View beating Mountain Point. Then Westwood played Mountain Point in the second game. And they went to the overtime period. Westwood kicked the field goal on their first possession. Mountain Point got the ball, and in trying to pass, their quarterback lost about 20 or 25 yards to the point where they couldn't kick the field goal. They had to go for a touchdown on 4th down from about 30 yards away, couldn't get it. So you got to keep it in perspective. Can't lose a lot of yardage. You want to keep that ball at least near the 10, where if you want to kick a field goal, you got a chance. They're going to run option. Andrew going to pitch it back. Holder's going to be hit and dumped. So the pitch goes to Calder.
Maybe, what, 3 yards?
See where they spot the football. Down to the round.
We couldn't
6
tell.
or 7. Give him a gain of 4.
I think Scott is hurt.
Johansson, Scott, or is it Coulter?
Scott was on the far side. No, Coulter's out there.
Coulter's holding his hand, too. Coulter's bent over in the huddle.
But Scott is on the ground.
See Coulter, 23. There's Johansson, Scott.
Maybe cramps.
He's the guy that gave them the chance to win this game with a great run back on a punt after he took a pass clear across the field from Eric Moody. He is up, and he'll come off. Johansson, Scott. 2nd down. There's Dante Biscaglia. His field goal with no time on the clock sent this game to OT. He's kicked 2 tonight. Mountain View leads in the overtime, 23-20. It is 2nd down for Chandler. Andrew leads them up. They're in the bone. Hand the ball off. Calder squirts through, fights his way down to about the 2 or 3 yard line. It's going to be 3rd down coming up.
Boy, that looked like a busted play that was going nowhere. I tell you what, my heart's pumping on this one.
This is unbelievable.
This is mano a mano right here.
Bob Corwin, our statistician, brings up a good point. First half, Prigge was a big play man for Chandler. They haven't gone to him in the second half.
This is a 3rd down play for a ticket to the state championship game, and it's going to be decided simply this way: which team wants it the most?
Timeout, Chandler.
It's going to be decided by the what does Keith Jackson call them? The big uglies up front.
We will take a break and come right back to Dobson High School. It is 23-20, Mountain View leading in overtime. When we come back, Chandler's got the ball.
Join us at Old Chicago Pasta and Pizza for the Valley's greatest Chicago experience. We have the best deep dish pizza in town. And be sure to bring the family because the price is right. We pile the freshest ingredients high on our unique whole wheat or white crust. And don't forget to stop in our sports bar, where we're proud to feature the Valley's largest selection of beer, 115 from around the world. We're located at the corner of Broadway and Roosevelt in Tempe, 530 West Broadway.
We're back again. Chandler is looking for their 7th straight win and their biggest win of the year, which would send them to Sun Devil Stadium. Mountain View's trying to stay unbeaten, go 13-0, maintain their #1 ranking, and also head to Sun Devil Stadium. It has come to this. 3rd down, goal. Chandler from the 3-yard line. It is 23-20 Mountain View. Andrew leads them up. Andrew with the snap, fakes, throws, end zone. Did he catch it? No. Incomplete.
And it was well covered by Mountain View.
And who did he throw to? Priggy. Just who we had talked about before.
Not Bello.
Here comes Biscaglia in.
Brig Bunker 24 was over there. Mountain View doing it. Prepared to handle the run and the backs. Not forgetting that a pass might be made.
I'm a little surprised they maybe didn't go to the wide side of the field on that attempt. But here's Biscaglia, who will try and duplicate Jeremy Kelly's feat moments ago and send it to yet another overtime. Out of the hold of Andrew. Are we going to go to another overtime or not? Kick on the way, and it is good. It is good. We'll do it one more time.
This is why they charge admission.
Oh, what a game this has been.
I would have paid to see this one.
Oh, this was a heck of a game. This is why I think high school sports is the greatest thing you can watch. Just super. I tell you all the time during the season, on Friday nights, get out to a local high school in your area and watch these kids go at it. They play for pride of school. It's just great to watch. 23 apiece in overtime. When play resumes, they'll put it back on the 10 and they'll actually flip again. And see who wants to go offense, who wants to go defense. We're set to start the second overtime. Chandler's got the ball on offense first here. Remember the ball on the 10. We're tied at 23. Each team kicked a field goal on their initial possession in the first overtime. Chris Andrew wants to throw, gets the pass away. Caught for a touchdown! Eric Moody.
No.
Moody caught the touchdown pass. Now the try for point.
That is not necessarily a death blow to Mountain View, but I'll tell you what it is. It's a stiletto.
There'll be no more field goals in this overtime. If Mountain View wants it, they're going to have to score a touchdown now to get it to another overtime.
Big extra point. We've seen Kelly miss one. What great blocking.
Similar to the pass they threw to Johansi Scott for a touchdown earlier in the game. Now the try for point. These extra points are huge, too. Snap, kick, on the way, perfect. Now they'll put it on the 10, and the Toros go to work, and they've got to score and kick the point to take it to another overtime. The score.
I'm sorry, George.
Chandler 30, Toros 23.
You know, the touchdown to Scott, we remarked what a gutsy call it was, 3rd and short, and they went for the home run. First down, second overtime. In the first overtime, they keep the ball on the ground and look as if they might have the ability to pound it in. This time, they go to the air first time.
And Moody hauls it in.
Well, it's not over.
Moody caught a 30-yard touchdown pass last week against Maryvale. That's his 6th touchdown catch of the year.
Let's see if Sepulveda is back out there. Mountain View may just stick to its game plan of just trying to smash it up there.
Here comes Mountain View from the 10. Gunning gives the ball off. Gain of a couple. Down to the 8 or 7 yard line. Rogers wrapping up Shipley, the ball carrier. 7 catches tonight for Moody. 91 yards and that huge touchdown right there. Chris Andrew has thrown for 211 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight. 14 of 27. Second down. Gunning, fake the pitch, handed to Shipley, touchdown. We saw that same play in our televised game with Highland earlier this year, and that's the same result.
That is the first time tonight they have run that play.
That's right.
We've seen the Mountain View teams over the years run that play with great success. First time tonight. Fake the pitch, and Chandler bought it.
Well, a little prayer never hurts. Chad Shipley. Now the try for point.
I don't think you'll get much money betting that he'll miss this one. He is too good.
Timeout momentarily. And we're going to get a full timeout called by Chandler. So again, on a 2nd and goal, watch him fake the pitch. And now the inside handoff. And Todd Heap
14.
leads him through.
Also, Bob Monroe up front threw a block in there that helped open up that hole.
So the Toros had to answer, and they did.
On one play.
That's right. And
each team took
one
play.
One play in the second overtime. Second play, actually,
right.
for Mountain View,
Well,
because the
who's
first play was about a 3-yard gain.
It seemed like the first play. Well, I think Chandler, figuring it has a timeout to use in the overtime, they don't get to carry them over. Thought, well, we'll make Kelly think a little bit more about this one.
Now the all-important try for point. Kelly to try and tie it again. Send it to yet another overtime. High snap, the ball is down, the kick is up, and it is good. Boy, everybody faces pressure now. The center's got to get a clean snap. The holder's got to make sure he gets it down, and Kelly's got to deliver, and he did. So we will go to overtime number 3.
Right. You know what?
Oh, we hope you're enjoying it.
What happens is one of these teams is going to wind up walking out of here the loser tonight, and all of this will make it so much harder to take. It's in a lot of ways, sometimes it's easier to take a loss when you've just had the daylights beaten out of you, when you lose a close one, and this one obviously is a close one. It's so much harder to take, but 2 very good football teams lining up and going after one another, especially right here after regulation has expired. And a great deal of credit goes to both of them. They're both well coached. They are both talented. They both have a lot of character. You can't say enough about these squads.
They've put on a heck of a show for this crowd tonight here at Dobson High School. And 1 week, we'll be over at ASU. And that's where all the marbles will be decided. The Class 5A State Championship will be on hand to cover it for you. It'll be the winner of this game against the winner of Brophy Amphi. It'll be a dandy, whoever gets there. And I don't know how they could top this one. So the next time we will go to overtime number 3.
Well, you know what's happening down in Tucson. One of the team that wins down there, although they probably don't know what's going on here, but would be thinking, have as many overtimes as you want, spill every last drop of emotion tonight so you have nothing left next week.
So Chandler huddled around Jim Sherman. He and Ned Jolly took over this team after the tragic automobile accident involving Jerry Loper. And that week, they had to go and play at Horizon, and they were shut out 17-0 by the Huskies. That's the last loss they have suffered. They came back after that, won 6 in a row coming into this game, and beat Horizon in the first game of the playoffs over at Chandler on November 22nd.
White, go ahead and shake hands. All right, you want the your choice. You want to go on defense? Which way you guys want to go? You want to go that way. Okay, so Mountain View over this way. Chandler over here. Right there, Ken. That's good. Go this way. All right, fellas.
Mountain View and Chandler obviously have their favorite sides of the field.
That's right.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe we have had a single play from scrimmage tonight, a single play in which that was started with a snap from scrimmage where there has been a fumble, much less a lost fumble.
Nope.
These teams have really taken care of the football. We've had the one intercepted pass, but in a lot of ways it wasn't any worse than a punt. It was on a second down play that Mountain View intercepted the pass, but it was still about a 30-yard play, and for all intents and purposes, really didn't hurt Chandler. But no fumbles.
So Chandler will be on defense. Mountain View has the ball on offense to start this third overtime. You know, not only the players have to be sharp in these overtime, the officials too. They've got a lot of pressure on them as well out there on the field.
Well, you know, good point. And why? Who would have thought about counting players when that crazy kick return is in progress? Who would have thought that, you know, there's an extra player out here somewhere? Although I got to tell you, I'm wondering, and there's no way we can find out, I'm wondering if the illegal substitution may not have been 12 players at the snap, but somebody on that Mountain View sideline stepped out into the field of play.
Here we go. Tate gunning. Fumble the snap!
He got it back, though.
Oh.
Or just when we're talking about fumbles.
If he doesn't get that snap back, they lose possession.
That's right.
And then all Chandler's got to do is come in, kick a field goal, and they win the ball game. That ball took a very fortunate hop back up to Gunning. Right there, he loses it.
Looks as if he just might have wanted to go with it. Lost his concentration for a moment because the ball was in his hands.
Second down. Carling, split to the near side of the field. Gunning wants to throw. He's going to step up, gets rid of it. Did he catch it? Todd Heap, touchdown! It was a delayed call on the officials. The ball was thrown low and hard to see whether he trapped it or not. But Heap held the ball up and the officials signaled touchdown.
Well, one of the officials was screened. Boy, that's hard to say.
From that angle, I thought he caught it. I don't know if we can slow it down when the ball is coming into Heap, but from that angle, I thought he caught it. Now the try for point by Kelly. It is 36-30, Mountain View. Snap, down, kick, good. So now Chandler will go to the offense. Watch this one again. The ball thrown low right there.
He's got it.
When his body goes down like that, you don't know whether or not the ball came out or not. But when the ball hit him in the chest, he had it.
It was above the ground. The question was, when he came down, did the ball touch the ground at a point when he still did not have control of it?
I think he caught it.
It's too close. You can't fault the officials for the call on that one.
Now we'll see what Chandler can do to try and match it again and try and take it to a fourth OT.
Well, the Wolves taking a long time to get to the line of scrimmage.
They had a late player coming on the field. Boy, you do not want to get penalized in these overtimes. 10 yards is long enough to go. Andrew pitches it. Fumble. I think Mountain View got it. I think Mountain View got it and the game's over.
Yep.
That's it. Toros recover. Game over. Oh, what a way to end it. They tried to run the option. The pitch back to Coulter. Fumbled the ball and Mountain View recovered. And in 3 overtimes, in this state semifinal game. The Toros of Mountain View stay unbeaten. They're headed for a shot at their 5th state title next week at Sun Devil Stadium. The final tonight, Mountain View 37, Chandler 30 in 3 overtimes. I need a break. We'll take it and then come back.
One of the best games you will ever see. The game goes into overtime on a crazy play. Then Mountain View wins it when they finally go to Heap in the 3rd overtime. And like he did over and over in his career, Heap came up with the big catch. Well, make sure you stay tuned in for another great high school game next week. Until then, I'm Chris Harris saying so long, and thanks for watching Classic High School Football on YurView.
Missed the last one. High snap. Patrick.